I think Facebook is going to be the next thing to connect. I think it should be connected by now because I know that there is always a delay on Facebook. Facebook usually have some kind of delay that comes in. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am seriously have to get the sound thing, the timer, and the music that's going to play like 10-15 minutes before I come on board, so that way I will have people waiting already, listening to songs, listening to their favorite songs play, or maybe listening to the song that I pick up to play. That's what I'm going to try to do. And also, I do apologize for you guys that I haven't been able to come here in the last almost a week plus now. I've been so busy. Yeah, so we'll be waiting for others to come online, but I'm going to start a monologue right now. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, I'm getting to you guys. I'm not far away, so don't be what happened to the well, what did I call it, to the I am going to get some couple of emails right here. Give me a minute, guys, because there are other people that might be joining. So I'm trying to get some things going. Yeah, so the monologue tonight, like I said, the monologue tonight is going to be a very interesting one. It's going to be something that is going to be a cap or a final for. I just want to send out something real quick because I have some people, some ladies that might be joining us tonight. So I would like them to come on board. Yeah. So they'll be coming to join us tonight. So this tonight monologue, I'm going to put Eric, I'm going to put you and Victor on hold for like a few minutes real quick, so that way I can do I'm going to do a quick monologue. So this monologue tonight is going to be concerning, it's going to be a finale, or final, depending on who you're speaking to, a finale or final to group level 6. So as level 6, as we were discussing, level 6, if you guys can hear me, please wave your hand. Can you hear me? Okay. So it's going to be a final for level 6. So level 6 itself, like I've been saying, is for women that are above average. They are 1 point, they are 1 point, you can say 10-20% above average. These are not your regular kind of average looking women. They are above average. These are women that can pull men. When you see them on the street, you're going to turn. Most of them are not overweight. You can't really see overweight women in this group. They're not really overweight. The overweight, the obese, not really overweight, but the obese fall in level 5. They are called average looking women. They make noise. They cause disruptive. They're very loud in public. They're average looking, but attitude is what keep them in their average. Weight is what keep them in that average. There are many accumulative stuff that put them in average. But these women above average are women that can pull men of different levels, but not hold them down, because they are not really that beautiful compared to when I get into level 8. They're not beautiful like when I get into level 8. They're not beautiful like level 8. But they are beautiful enough to make a man turn around and look at them, to make a man approach them, to make a man want to be with them, to make a man want to marry them. But remember, this is the same group that is very entitled. Not the group that says, I can do it all by myself. This is just entitled group. The level 5 is the entitled group. They're the women that deal with entitlement, that deal with I can do it all by myself. I don't need a man. They're not really, they're average looking, but they have college degree. They obtain college degree. They're tall, they are beautiful, they're average looking, they have degrees, they have money, they've done it by themselves. They have kids. Some of them don't have kids, but they've done it by themselves. But this group 6 is the group that usually men snatch them up very early. But due to their level of entitlement, they are both average looking women. They have this sense of entitlement. They believe that every man that comes to them have to bow down to them. And when they can't get what they want, they flip out. They don't listen. They're not overweight, but they have attitude. They have character. They have issues that make it very difficult for them to be able to keep a man. When they do have kids, they usually will have kids very early because they are above average. They will have kids as early as 18, 19, 20, sometimes 17. Men get them quick. Those young, they deal with men. Usually when they deal with men around their age. They are beautiful. They're the bad chick at school. They're not the one that want to belong to the bad chicks. No, they are bad themselves. They don't deal with the 8s and 9s. Those are the guys that want to go to NFL. That usually deal with those girls. You can get maybe like about 20 out of 500 chicks in the same high school. But I'm talking about sizable amount of number that are average. They are about 20%, and they are about 20-30% of girls in high school, but they move on their own. They got grabbed by guys that are usually the bad boy in the school, but not the guy going to NFL. They usually grabbed by the bad boy in the street. They got pregnant very early, but they do have sense of entitlement. When they get run through by other group of men, that's when they want to then settle down. And sometimes it takes them in their 20s and in their 30s and in their 40s. That's, they go through their 20s, running the street. They have 1 or 2 kids, go through their 20s, running the street. They are beautiful. They still pull men. Men still want to be with them, even with those kids. But because of their high level of entitlement, they can't hold a man down. We see this all the time. We know these women. They are chicks in the street. And then they end up going to college. Sometimes they are dedicated. They will end up being lawyers and doctors. But still, even with their degree, they can't still keep a man. Because they have always been told that they are beautiful. Mind you, they are beautiful women. They are beautiful women. They are above average. So when we talk about level 6, we talk about women that are beautiful, above average. Then when we talk about level 6 adjusted, We are also talking about women that are in a higher group, such as group 8 and 9, but now they have kids as well. They have kids. No girl in group 8 or 9 that doesn't have kids becomes level 6 adjusted. No, they have to have kids, at least 2 or more, not 1. The level 6 adjusted, 1 kid, is very difficult for her to go from 8 to 6 if she has just 1 child, because usually men will Wi-Fi really quick. But one thing that makes her to become level 6 adjusted is now age. When she crosses 40 years old and no man wants her at 40, or she can't get that ring at 40, she automatically becomes level 6 adjusted. So this is what we're talking about. So what I'm going to do right now, I don't want to go into too long monologue about this because it's going to be a big discussion. It's the final, tonight is the final night for level 6 adjusted. And then the next time that I come online, which is going to be probably Saturday or Sunday, now we're going to go into level 8. But tonight is going to be level 6 adjusted, end of level 6. But we're going to discuss more about it, and then I'm going to get into more detail about it. I don't want to waste time because we're supposed to be here by 9:30, so 30 minutes is all gone. So let's hop in. I'm going to bring on Victor, Eric on board, and also Angie. So we're coming on board. We're waiting for a rounder and some other people coming up. Let's make it happen. Hey, Vic, Eric.
What's up, bro?
Angie. How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Good. I like that. Let's make it happen. What's going on? Did you guys have a good night Thanksgiving? We haven't seen since Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah, I drove to Houston, spent it with my cousin and my niece.
Yeah, Victor also. Yeah. So that was you and Victor went to Houston about the same time?
No, I went to Houston the week before he went. I'm sorry, after he went. I was down there after he went. Hey, you were coming down Sunday when I was coming back. That was your second time. Yeah, that was my second time going to Houston.
That's what's up then. At least you guys were able to have fun in Houston, right?
Oh, I was on business. It wasn't fun.
Okay. So you guys see what I'm talking about, level 6 adjusted, because Rhonda and Angela and I, no, not Angie, I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember the other lady's name. Tia is on board
Marcella?
No, it was 3 of us. We were discussing last week. The last time we were here. It was a big conversation. If you guys have any time, listen.
I see Angie and Tia on here.
Yeah, Angie and Tia. No, Tia wasn't here last time that we were here. It was,
okay.
It was
what Angie is that? Is that Angela? The one that I sent you?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
When she start going by Angie, you can unblock your mic and respond. That's my. By the way, that's my daughter's godmother.
Oh, okay. Hi, Angie. How you doing?
I don't see her picture.
I think
Me neither. Angie and Tia, I don't see their picture.
Yeah, I didn't.
You can't see mine.
Shit. Tia had to come back online.
You just got off, huh?
She must have mistakenly disconnected.
I'm back online. Yeah, I'll text her. Yeah, I can't see Tia's picture on her, but I can see her name.
Yeah, Tia, I don't know. Tia has been hiding all this while. She doesn't come online. She doesn't show her face anymore like she used to.
Only because it's nighttime and.
No, put your camera on. Come online. It's okay.
Maybe she got a green facial on. She don't want you to see with the green facials and the hair rollers.
Exactly.
And the cucumbers. She got the cucumbers on her eyes, bro. She got the facial and she got a hair roller.
We don't mind her having all those things on. Exception for tonight.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Yeah. So So you guys see what we're saying, right? So group the level 6 the level 6. So I'm going to discuss mostly, conversation mostly on the level 6 adjusted. We talked a lot about the level 6 and but last time we discussed a lot about level 6 adjusted. So hopefully we can go deep into it. Like I said, the level 6 adjusted is usually very beautiful women. I would say women of above average looking. These are not your typical average looking women that you come across in restaurants. They are talking loud, they are causing issues, making their voice loud and being disrespectful. I gotta put all of you on mute because somebody's mic is.
Yeah. Somebody's mic or something is doing something crazy.
Yeah. Or like they got something on in the background, like a TV or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that Tia, you can unmute yourself as long as you don't have anything going on in the background. But I think that the background noise is coming from Tia because once she came back on,
I don't have anything going on. That's why. Okay.
Yeah. See, Angela changed her name.
Shut up, Eric.
That's level 6.
Yep. What's up? Yeah. Oh, you got curlers in your hair too?
No, I'm driving home from work.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want you messing with him.
Yeah. Yeah, so level 6 is above they are above average looking. So one thing about the demarcation or that is caught in between level 6 and level 5, or maybe character distinction, is that level 5, like I said, they are loud. They are thick. No matter their height, they are, those girls that are very, very loud, thick, obese looking women that you look at them, yeah, they're pretty, but they're loud. They go into restaurant, they cussing, usually with low education, some of them. Some of the ones that have a high education or that have college degree, they usually are very stubborn. But I'm not going into level 5, but I'm just trying to say the difference between level 5 and 6. They are very stubborn, they have college education, they can do it all by themselves, they don't need a man to do anything for them, because usually they don't really attract men that much due to attitude. Not due to looks, but it's usually attitude. So the guys that they attract usually will mess with them a little bit and just walk away because they cannot stand them. But when you get into level 6 now you're talking about pretty looking women. They are pretty looking. They're not going to be your Beyonce. They're not going to be your Kelly Rowland. No, they're not that level. They're not level like, I would say, Rihanna. These are women that look like Kerry Washington. If you remember Kerry Washington, they look just like her. Mm-hmm. They're that beautiful, but they won't like owl you on the street. But they will make you turn around and look twice, want to talk to her, want to approach her. They have that sophistication. They go to college. But one thing that they have is entitlement. When they can't get what they want, they try to use their femininity. When their femininity can't work, they get pissed off. Some of them, I'm sorry ladies if I say this, if you fall into that category, sorry, they usually will have one kid, But when they do have 2 kids, it's usually level 8. Not level 5, not level 6, level 8. Level 8 becomes level 6 adjusted if they have 2 or more kids. They become level 6 adjusted. When level 8 has 1 child, she won't be level 6 adjusted, except in event she has exceeded 40 years old. And she has only 1 child. She has to exceed 40 years old to become level 6 adjusted. You see what I'm saying? Because she's pretty. She's pretty. She can still pull up guys with 1 child. But the thing is that she can't keep guys. Women at level 8, that become level 6 adjusted are very manipulative. But they are manipulative because they are usually on their femininity. Level 6 are entitlement. They have this entitlement. They are entitled because they went to college. When they didn't go to college, they had the baddest guys in high school pulling after them. You see, they have the baddest guys in high school going after them. They have guys that spend money on them. These are girls that guys will fly out to Dubai. You see, they will fly them out to Dubai. They will have fun with them. They will take them around, but they don't usually wife them because of that level of entitlement. But when they get married, they stay in marriage for a while, between 2 and 6 years. They come out right away. They don't stay too long in marriage. One thing is because they usually will not marry guys that are that too broke. When they come out of marriage, they don't really come out of marriage with so much money. They're not like level 8. Level 8 come out of marriage rich. Level 9 come out of marriage rich. Level 10 come out of marriage rich because of the kind of men that pick them up. But level 6 adjusted will come out of marriage not that rich. But she will come out of marriage because of attention. She wants that attention. When that attention is not given to her, she wants a way out. You see what I'm saying? So they don't stay in marriage that long to be able to accumulate that wealth or maybe help the guy build a wealth. Like normal 8, 9, and 10 will do. But they at level 8 will come out really quick because it's all about them. Let's pick it up, guys. What do you guys think? Am I making the... what do you think about what I said so far?
Well, I want to hear what the ladies have to say first.
Okay, ladies.
You sound like you know what you're talking about.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Why is it that all these ladies are all blanked out, man?
Ain't nobody face on here.
Because it's 10 o'clock at night.
Yes, thank you, Victor.
And Angela's driving. But it's 10 o'clock at night. Most of them probably halfway ready for bed, got their pajamas on and stuff. They don't want you to see them in their pajamas.
It's 11 o'clock here. It's after 11 for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's in the East Coast.
Starting early. She's an hour ahead of us.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's see what you guys got. The lady, somebody say something. The guys don't want to rub don't want to rub no shoulder.
Hey guys, I just came in. Can I hear in a nutshell what we just kind of like?
Oh Lord, no.
Yeah. So what we're going to do basically, let's get a pushback from one of the ladies so that way when we get into the conversation, Rhonda can pick up where we stop because I think that will help instead of me doing the monologue all over again.
Yeah, well, she remembers. We were talking about level 6 adjusted the last time. She remembers the same thing, same moment we were talking about last time, Rhonda.
And she picked up a lot from the time because me and her and our friend, we had a whole 2-hour conversation the other day.
Damn.
Okay, guys.
Go ahead, Tia.
No, I'm sorry. We were just basically he's just going over some of the giving you in a nutshell the levels 5, 8, 9, and where they.
No, we haven't gotten into 8. Okay, let me put it this way: we're not in 8. We're not in 9. What I was saying about we're in 6 adjusted, but the reason why we have 6 adjusted is because of 8. Okay, let me say what 6 adjusted is. Like I said before, the ladies that they're not the whole time. I'm just going to put it for 30 seconds. The ladies that have 2 or more kids at any given age, before the age of 40, they have 2 or more kids, but they are beautiful, very beautiful. Level 8, they become level 6 adjusted. If they have only 1 child, but they are 40 years and above, level 6 adjusted. If they don't, and the one that I forgot to say was also, if they don't have child at all, 40 years old is also level 6 adjusted because they've hit the wall. Hitting the wall is usually at the age of 33. 27, you are bearing towards the wall with full speed. 33, you've hit it. You know? 40 years is point of no return.
What do you mean hit the wall, Alex?
Hit the wall means that it's going to be difficult to get married.
Okay.
Very difficult to get married. Very difficult to be taken out of the market. And that because most of the time, the reason why it's difficult to get married at that 40 is because most of us, both men and women, at 40, we are set in our ways.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? We are set in our ways. It's going to be hard to tell somebody that what they're doing is wrong. It takes miracle. At 40, we are set in our ways. So most men will not want to deal with that. If they are men of certain, remember that what I'm discussing is not for every man. These are usually men of certain caliber, men of certain income ratio. But if you're talking about a Joe that is earning 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, he doesn't care if you have 3 kids. He needs financial bailout, you know. as long as you're coming in with some money and you got a job, he don't care, you know. Yeah. But if you're trying to be a housewife and don't have any need to work, but you want a guy to take care of you, no, you can't get it at that level. Okay, guys.
Well, I personally think 6 adjusted, when we talk about college educated, maybe around 40 years old, 1 or 2 kids, it's just like you said, a lot of time what happens is people kind of get stuck in their own ways. And so it's hard to go into a relationship and with you know, trying to get married and trying to hook up with this guy and trying to get him to wife you up if you're not subject to any kind of changes. If you're stuck in your ways, if you college education, you think you got it all figured out, you got the looks, and now maybe the mentality is that, hey, I want somebody to do this for me, and if they can't do this for me, well, I have an education, and I don't need no one coming in to tell me X, Y, Z. I just need him to come in and just, you know, bring a check to the table and just kind of fall in line with what I got already going on.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be one scenario of a level 6 adjusted, and the other one could be just that, you know, with the good men, the pickings are slim, and maybe the good men.
So my question, in order to engage the ladies, what did I say that was wrong in this situation? In all the monologue that I've given so far for the 2 ladies that have been with us up until now, and the monologue that I gave and the discussion that we've been having so far for the 2 ladies that just joined, what do you ladies think that I said wrong or we've said wrong so far? Let's make the argument.
Angela? Marshall? Oh, that hurt my throat. Oh, shit. He talking to y'all. He said the 2 new ladies.
Tia, Rhonda, somebody.
He said the 2 new ladies that just joined. We talking
to the 2 ladies.
Yeah, ain't nobody saying nothing though.
It doesn't matter. Anybody can say something. Like, what have we said that is wrong, or what have we said that is right?
I can't speak on anything that was wrong or right because I didn't hear it, so I can't say whether or not it was wrong or it was right.
Oh, you just got on.
So what disagreement do you have?
She said she didn't hear it, so she can't speak on it.
Okay. So Tia, can you say something so that way maybe Marcella can find out what we're talking about, and then that way can give her an avenue to work on.
You were.
What do you disagree, or what do you think that is wrong, or what that's mostly disagreement? Agreement, fine, but mostly disagreement.
Me personally, I'm right now. I pretty much agree. It sounds about right to me what you're stating, with the level of the women. Level 6 generally are beautiful, educated, not always staying married. I don't think you stated this before just from our previous conversations. The type of men that they genuinely go for, educating, making good money as well, if not generally making more than them. Yeah. But at the same time, their attitude, they're not really the perfect woman for marriage at that particular time frame, just because of their sense of, you didn't say this.
Entitlement?
Yes,
entitlement?
yes.
Okay. Another thing that I was going to also say about this group, especially for Angelia and Marcella, this is not only for United States. I'm from Nigeria originally. I've been in the US for 20 years. This cuts across continents, but especially in our black community. When I say black community, I'm talking about Nigeria. I'm talking about America. I'm talking about Europe. I've been in all these continents. North America, Africa, and Europe. And I got to tell you, it's almost the same thing now. You see what I'm saying? 20 years ago, I might be like, it's mostly America. But today, oh no. And that's why I started this channel. Because when I went to Nigeria after many years away, when I went in 2018, I was shocked what I saw. So then I was like, oh, this is an American thing. No, it's not American thing. It's a black thing, irrespective of the continent. To be honest with you. Even here in the United States.
I don't necessarily mean it's just black.
I was going to say the same thing, Eric. I don't think it's a black thing. I
was going to say the same thing.
I think it's everybody.
Right, it's a woman thing.
Okay. Women, period.
No. But if you look at it this way, right? The reason why I said I'm about going to disagree a little bit about women thing is look at the results. When it comes to level 6 adjusted, it's not the same in black community as it is the same in the white community. If
what are you
look
saying?
At level 6, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
If you guys remember when I was saying that when we were in college, right? I remember getting out of college, you're going to see Pete graduating with Amanda. And 6 months after graduation, they get married. Or 1 year, right?
These white folks?
Yeah. That's why I call their name white folks. You see? Right. But look at Dion and Tamika. Tamika leaves Dion 2nd year in college because she can do better. It's not the same.
But again,
I get you.
Most white girls will not leave a white guy at the 2nd year in college or 3rd year in college because she could do better. We all saw that in college. Tamika will leave Dion. You see what I'm saying? She will leave Dion.
I have an answer for that.
Signs a contract with the NBA or the NFL, she ain't going
That's the only way she's going to stay.
I have an answer.
If he has potential. Okay.
I think my answer is okay. What I've known to be fact, right?
Yes.
In the white household, parents send their daughters to college. They send them with the intention of getting a degree and also finding that person in college.
Yep.
I have people that told me, this is from experience.
That's true.
That they told them, look for a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, those kind of, right?
High-dollar-paying man, right?
Right. That kind of man, quality man, right? When you go off to college. In the black household, parents have taught their girl children to go to college, get a degree, because no man is going to cut style on you. You're going to earn your own money and you're going to be your own person. There's a big difference. So a black girl would go to college just to date, this is somebody they like and they'll date them for a while or whatever. And this is not across the board for every black person. Let me make that clear. Okay? Mm-hmm. For some black parents, they teach their children, they teach their daughters to be strong black women, to stand on their own, to make their own money, create their own lifestyle. So they go with that mentality that, hey, ain't nobody can tell me nothing or whatever, that kind of attitude way. Whereas in the white household, they teach them to go after a man who is successful.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead. Now, to say also in the white,
that's a very good point.
They in the white community, from what I've seen, and I grew up with very. I had a mixed culture that I grew up with. A lot of blacks and a lot of white. I went to a lot of my school was basically half and half. But they generally 9 times out of 10 they do get married early, but they do not stay married. Their divorce rate is very, from what I've seen, it's always high. And they normally find their actual true love through their second marriage. It's not always with the, not 10 times out of 10 out of 10, be jokingly saying, but normally they don't stay married.
That's true.
They divorce early. So they get married. They marry for money. They marry someone that's successful. Those that goes to college, but they don't stay married.
But if you look at it this way, Tia, right? Growing up as little kids, they told us men, go work hard, be a man to take care of your family. It's programmed in men to do that. But then it confuses me why they tell our women, marry for love, marry for this. They don't tell them that a man's supposed to take care of them. You see what I'm saying? So when the girl comes in, she's coming in with all this strength of masculinity. And the man is coming out also with this strength which is masculinity, right? So you have a girl that is told by her mother, by her black mother, to go and be this person and be that person and go to college, whereas a white mother is telling her daughter to go to college and get a degree and get a man. But a black daughter is being told to go to college and get a degree, not to get a man. But the confusion becomes, the black guy, what are we telling the black guy? Because growing up, I knew that men were told to go and work hard, go to school, work hard so you can take care of your family. So we are not preparing our women to be feminine, to operate on their feminine level. Because guess what happened? When that white girl marries, right? She married for the money. Because the message that her mom is sending her, she gets it all messed up, right? Then she realized that, shoot, yes, I'm supposed to be married for the money, but also this is what I'm supposed to do, right? To be able to operate in my femininity, which she doesn't get because she married early, right? But she fixes that problem when she marries the second time. She still operates in her femininity, right? But on a better form in her second marriage. But the problem in our black community is that we don't even get to marry the first time. You see? We got to marry the first time to talk of the second time, to talk of correcting it at the second marriage. The white woman marries the first time, corrects it at the second marriage by the time she turned 30, right? She might marry at 22, 23, get divorced at 27, then marries at 29, corrects it. Or marries at 30 or 33, corrects it. But the black woman doesn't even marry at the first place. You see what I'm trying to say, right? like in Nigeria, okay, here in the United States, I see some of our Nigerian girls as well getting married 33, 34. These are girls that used to get married at 22. But they're getting married at 33, 34. By the time they're getting married at 33, 34, now by 37, they're out of marriage because they start having problems. They're now setting in their ways. Because you got to understand, when somebody graduates from college and lives by herself, now she's coming home when she wants, leaving house when she wants, catching Uber when she wants, go drink when she wants, do everything when she wants. And then a guy sees her tomorrow and wants to marry her. And the guy asks her to move into his house after marriage and asking her, where are you going? Where do you think you're going? She's used to, guess what? She's used to getting out of the house when she wants, right?
Not having to answer to nobody.
Not answering to anybody.
Okay, I think that's a two-way street. I would say that's a two-way street because I think they're teaching the young men these days I think parents are teaching their boy children not to get married until 40.
Yes. Okay, when you say parents, Miranda, when you say parents, now we have a big problem in black community. So we have one parent now, not two.
Hold on. What I'm saying is, in the black community, right? A woman can't. Well, a black female may not get married because, right? I'm not staying straight across the board, but because a lot of them, the parents are teaching men now. Hey, you're 25. Hey, you're 22. Don't get married. You're too young. You're too young to get married. I've heard it with many of my friends who have boy children.
But that don't mean they got to marry somebody 25 and 22. They ain't going to marry somebody 40 who's ready to get married. That's why, hey, you just answered the question of why older men marry younger women.
That's right.
Okay, and that's true. And that is true. That is true, Eric. But what I'm saying with the college students and stuff, why sometimes they don't even get married at all, is because they have to get married to, they have to look for their spouse, and their spouse ain't thinking about marriage. In black community, they ain't studying about marriage. They're studying about courting and dating, and they want to date 3-4 women at the same time or whatever. That's just how they are.
You can't put. Go ahead. Go ahead.
How can a woman, the female, get married at 22 when she don't have anybody to get married to because the boys are not wanting to get married?
And that's a whole nother conversation. The reason why some of the boys don't want to get married, and I know we're not supposed to gear off to this, but today's society.
No, we can go ahead.
Today's society, a lot of young men, when I talk to, the reason why they not get married, they said because too many women are wilding out. They have more body counts. They have more body counts now than they do, so that's why they said they ain't marrying them yet.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I've talked to them. That's what they said. Go ahead.
I gotta say this to you, ladies. Right? Let me say this 100%. When you have a guy, like I always say before now, men are hunters. You cannot fault men for doing that. They are naturally created by God. But a hunter, when he catches a good meat, what does he do? He goes home. He doesn't stick around anymore. A hunter keeps hunting when there is no good meat to find. If he can find a good meat, he still stick around the hunting field, right? Targeting. But once he kills that fat deer, what does he do? He puts the deer on his shoulder and home he goes, right? The reason why is this. If I'm a man out there and I'm courting 3 girls and one is giving it to me whenever I want and the other one is giving it to me not however I want, but she's coming to my house cooking and cleaning, and one of them is giving it to me but with serious attitude, who do you think I'm going to marry?
The one that cooks, right? The one that cooks.
She might not really give me the way I want it, but
she taking care of. She taking care of you.
And that's right, Vic. That's right, Eric. And cooking and cleaning, what does it equate? attitude.
And you gonna still continue messing with the other two.
No, here we go. No. Remember, I said the man will go home.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Preach, preacher.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
No, she would.
You gonna still get it from the one that you like getting it from, and you might get it from the one that's got that attitude because she probably gives it to you the best.
But guess what happened? If the one that is giving you the best, if the one that is giving you the best continue doing that, that's stupid because she knew you getting married. Right? She's supposed to know that you getting married. She's supposed to know you married already. So
well, believe it or not, some of them aren't in it for the marriage. And so that's where you as men are supposed to decipher whether or not you're messing with the right one. Because there are women that move about just like men, that they don't have plans to be married or settle down with.
Now you're talking. But guess what happened? That's why we talk about hitting the wall. Let me say this to you because this is just not true. What she said right now is correct, but the end of it is not. I will tell you why, Marcella.
Yeah, because eventually they want to get married.
Every woman on earth.
Not every woman, because you can't speak for me, baby, and I do not want to be married.
Okay, guess what?
Oh, I second that emotion.
Good. But let me tell you one thing.
Y'all know good and well if I ask y'all to marry tomorrow, y'all get married. Y'all marry me tomorrow.
You know what they're doing. You know what they're doing. Every woman on earth that I've come across that once told me she never wanted to get married, always comes a time when she's be like, oh damn, I want to get married. They have that phase of their life.
There may have been once upon a time. I won't say
not once upon a time. Every time when you can't find a man.
No. There may have been once upon a time, but when you get to a certain age and you've dealt with enough people and you've been able to read different situations, that makes it enough for you to decide, hey, I know what's out here and I know what I've been dealing with, and that's enough for me to say I'm cool with my lifestyle.
I'm glad that you just said right now what I'm dealing with. Eric.
Hold on. That's me. They just had met me. That's all that is. They just ain't met me. That's all that is.
I'm not just.
That's the other thing. Wait a minute. Well, I want to touch back on what Marcella was just saying, because the men you've been dealing with might all be coming from the same place. Sometimes you got to change the place that you're of the men that you're dealing with, and I don't mean like city. I mean the environment that you're in and the men that you meet. Maybe you need to meet men in a different level. Like maybe meet a man in church, or maybe go to some, I don't know, family gatherings or friend gathering and meet them there or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these people get out here like I did. I met my ex-wife in a club. Should have known that shit wasn't going to work. But anyway. I'm just saying. No, for real. No, I'm being totally honest.
But I don't think look at it this way.
It's a good place to meet your spouse, man only.
It's not. Eric, look at it this way.
I've never met a spouse in the club, honestly.
How many spouses have you had?
Married?
I've never met I've never dated somebody that I met in the club. Let me put
it this way. Do you know why our women pick wrong? Do you know why our women pick wrong, Eric? The reason why our women pick wrong is this.
Why they pick wrong?
The reason why they pick wrong.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The reason why they don't pick right is because women are not good at courting the right
Let
man
me
for them.
explain to you why there's not enough good picks. Because there's not enough fathers in the lives of their children, whether it be male or female. And both sexes need both parents to raise them. And so when there's an absent parent, there comes an absence in the area in which you fell short in. So what I believe and what I see, I have a child, I have a son, I have girls, and I have brothers that weren't raised by a father. And I see other men that didn't have fathers in their household. Men that grew up with fathers in their household tend to have a lot more respect for women than men that didn't grow up with fathers in their household.
Girl, why are you preaching a Sunday morning service on a Tuesday?
I tend to disagree with that.
I didn't say every man. I did not say every man.
I know.
But
I know you didn't. You said most men disagree with that.
She said men 10. She said men 10.
Grew up with a woman. It was raised by a woman.
Men that grew up in a household with a man in the household tend to have more respect because they watch their father respect their mother, respect their sisters. They've watched that respect and they can take that on. But there's men that did not have fathers in their household, and you can tell. I see it in my own son, so I'm not saying anything that I don't see for myself or haven't experienced for myself. I see it in my child, and not that he's just so outlandish disrespectful to me, but I look how he talks to these little girls, and I have to correct him. Son, that's not the correct way you talk to a young lady, and if a young lady is talking to you like that, then you don't need to talk to her.
Where's his father?
Okay, and
where's his father?
His father lives in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
How old is your son?
He's 13.
Send him home.
He is home. This is home.
He is home.
No, send him home. That is not his home.
Taking care of him since he was born.
That is the problem. That is the problem.
You can't make a man take care of his child.
Nope. You can make a man take care of his child if you send him home. I gotta address this real quick because this is something that.
Let me say this
but
to
he got to be. Wait a minute, though. He got to be acceptable.
To take care of that child. You know,
the man. Just
a man that doesn't want to take care of him. You can't do
Right.
that.
You can't make a man. You can't make a man take care of a child.
I gotta tell you guys something.
Okay.
When you make things comfortable for me as a man, I'm gonna take it. I'll seize the opportunity. If you come and tell me that I can raise a child, number one, that's disrespectful to any man to be told that he can raise a child. You know, I know how that man might feel. You see what I'm saying?
But when he makes that decision for himself that he does not want to raise that child, when he does not want to be a part of that child's life,
guess what?
You can't force a man to do anything.
Guess what? When I came to this country new, and I heard this so many times, not by you only. I've heard it so many times. But the first time when I came, I was confused. It's not in a man's nature to raise a child that is 2 months old, 1 day old, 5 years old. It's not in a man's nature. But when you take a child, a son, and drop on his dad's lap and say, take care of your son and leave him, right? He's going to look at that son. Have you ever watched Animal Kingdom and see how the male lion will look at the upgrowing male lion and be like, who do you think you are? But slowly goes to his son and tap him. 3 days later, you see the two lions become best friends, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a man's nature, it's an animal nature to reject something he doesn't want to take care of at first. But when that thing is dropped on his lap, right, he doesn't have a choice. The reason why you have men having 10, 5, 20 kids all over the whole country is because the sons that he has, right, is not being sent home to him to raise. If you take your son and take that son one-way ticket to his father, even if he likes it or not, and say, this is your son, raise him to be a man, I got to tell you, in 2 weeks, a whole lot will change. I have seen that happen in Nigeria many times, and it can happen here. And I've seen it happen in America many times too. If Eric, go ahead, Eric.
Go ahead.
Eric is breaking up. We can't hear him very well.
No?
Vic,
what happened to the daughters? They don't get to go to their fathers either? Or two?
Guess what? Guess what?
Only the son. Go ahead.
Guess what? Not only the son. A man has to teach a woman how to respond to men. A mother has to teach a woman how to serve men. You see the difference? Every parent plays an equal role in raising a child.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And that's probably why you have so many women that have...
They don't know how to treat a man.
Because they didn't have a man that they
don't have a man to teach them that. When you send your son, to your, like remember the last two podcasts ago that we had, right? This is what I said. I said when a daughter, when she turns 10, she got to go to her father. If their father and their mom don't live together, she got to go. She got to go to her. So you have to let your kids go by the time they turn 8. They got to go to their dad, and you got to live your life. Living your life means now you have to go out there and have another man court you. And this is how men, you ladies might not know this, men judge a woman by her exes. The way you and your, who is your ex, the way your ex acts, the kind of ex you have is how the future man will judge you. If you pick wrong, he's going to say you pick wrong because you pick wrong exes, right? So if you take your kids and send them back to their father, their legitimate father, it frees you up to be able to marry. But if you're giving an excuse for a man that is supposed to be taking care of his children, you're saying that, oh, he doesn't want to take care of his children. He doesn't want to be there to take care of his children. He's not even doing this. He's not doing that. Guess what? Another man that is looking at you will be like, damn, she's gonna deny me having access to my kids. You might be right, but that's not how men look at it.
But here's the other aspect of that, Alex, is women have a maternal instinct, and it's hard for them to separate from their children. Doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl, and they're not gonna. They have that nurturing, like, I need to take care of, especially my children. So it'd be hard for a woman to just take her son, especially if he's 1,500 miles away or something, and leave him with the dad. You know what I'm saying? That would be difficult to do, especially in a black family. You know what I mean?
Right. You're right, Eric. And especially knowing if you already have experienced what the dad is all about, his lifestyle.
If you know, sorry, motherfucker.
And nobody don't want to put their kids anywhere that they're unwanted. Nobody wants.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Me as a mother, and because of our nature, and God has given us a special something, I won't drop my son. I won't take my son to New York, or wherever, and drop him with his dad because I know how his dad is.
It doesn't matter how his dad is.
Sure it does. Sure it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
I'm gonna.
Y'all must like to show y'all must like to show y'all children tough love.
I was going to give an exception. It doesn't matter how the dad is, with the exception of if he's a pedophile, right?
Right.
Or drug abuser. If those two things are not,
what if he's physically abusive?
What if he's a deadbeat? What if the nigga don't like to work?
What if he's a womanizer, even teaching his child from 6 years old to go look for women?
Rhonda, woman cannot make a decision for family. That's the problem.
And Rhonda, a man doesn't
make a decision.
Hold on. And a man doesn't teach another boy how to be a womanizer. Society teaches men how to be.
Society does that. It has not. It's an instinct inside a man. It's something inside. Every single man has that instinct. You cannot separate a father and his son.
Alex,
because the man is a womanizer. No. That's a woman's problem, not a man's problem.
No, Alex, I'm telling you, a man who is constantly, maybe Eric is not like this, maybe Victor is not like that, but a man who is constantly telling his son, come on, let's go look for women. Come on. And that is his MO.
How old is the son?
That's what he does. His son is like 14 years old, 15.
Guess what? Let me tell you something, right?
Go look for women.
Okay, let me tell you something. Men have character. Men of different age. My dad I was giving a girl sign behind my dad. I was giving her sign behind my dad so that she can tell the girl that I want to talk to that I'll come meet her. But I was giving a hand sign. I didn't know my dad was seeing me. Guess what? When the girl left, my dad turned around and said, "Are you stupid?" I'm like, "Huh?" He's like, "Are you crazy?" I was surprised. I'm like, "Why did you say that?" He said, "Why on earth would you be talking to a girl this ugly?"
Damn. Damn. I'm telling you. Damn. I didn't see that one coming.
Does that make my dad a bad person? No, he's trying to get me to choose right. Sometimes men do the things that look foolish to women, but that's how a lion teaches a cub how to be a lion. It might look stupid to you.
Let me even interject this.
Okay.
There's some men, and I know this. There's some men who have sons who thinks that their son is not a man, and they will even go as far as to get a prostitute to sleep with their son to make them become a man, because they think that's how you.
I ain't never heard that one, but okay.
Ron, I never heard about that, but I gotta tell you this. I gotta tell you this, Rhonda.
Yeah, that's rare.
Man, you cannot come in between a man and his son, as long as he's not teaching his son how to be a criminal, right? Or be a pedophile, or be a rapist. As long as he's not teaching his son something that will land him in jail, it's not your duty as a mother to determine. Do you know what you're doing? What you're telling us right now is this. That is called tearing family apart. Just because a man is not raising a son the way you want him to raise. It's like
no, Alex. I'm talking about a dysfunctional father. You telling me that
does not qualify a dysfunctional father.
Alex, what qualifies a dysfunctional father beside a pedophile? Do you think? What else?
A dysfunctional father is
a criminal, a drug abuser.
Criminal, drugs.
If you have a man that constantly, I'm talking about a man that constantly go with different types of women, right? I'm not saying that anything wrong with a man just having, a high sex drive or whatever, right? You have women. You sleeping in bed with a woman, and you have another woman breaking your freaking door down to come fight the woman in your bed. And
the man is damn good.
You have kids in the household. I would set my son in a household that is happening in. Over my dead body.
Rhonda, please. If this has happened before, right? It's not an excuse to tear family apart.
Hey, Rhonda, I'm gonna come over there and give you some counseling. I think you need some love, Rhonda. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Hey, Rhonda, this is not that is called habitual. This is habitual.
You to understand that there are fathers out there. You are constantly telling me that we should send our kids to certain places, and the only thing is a pedophile or whatever, right? That wait.
Okay, what's the outcome that the mother wants?
Hold on. And women, wait a minute. And women don't teach their girls how to be hoes or sluts or go looking for a man.
That's true.
Same
just to interject.
And the man never.
But I still can't say she can't raise her daughter, because that's still her daughter. Now, just because she's teaching her or showing her some ways of being a promiscuous woman, well, eventually, when you grow up, you have to decide for yourself if you're going to be that type of person or not.
That's right.
Regardless of how your dad. Because I seen how my dad was. I mean, he didn't raise me, but I seen how he was. But guess what? I'm nothing like him. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's all relative. I think that see, it takes place in both. That's why I'm not getting upset about it, because you're right. But it also happens in the woman household with girls too. So don't act like it's just men doing it.
I agree with you. It happens in the woman.
It's not.
And because that happens, we can't say that they're bad. We can't say that they're bad. They shouldn't be able to raise their kids. That's just maybe that's the way they were raised. That's sometimes there's like, and I call them generational curses, or just things that keep getting passed on through the family that shouldn't keep getting passed on. You know what I'm saying? And somebody eventually has to step up and stop passing it on, but that don't make.
I think so. That is not an excuse. I think what Eric is trying to say before he comes back, that is not an excuse to deny a father the opportunity to raise his son. No, not at all.
Actually, I truly agree with what you're saying, Eric. This only speaking from self-experience from my husband, and just from my side as well. A woman, his ex-wife, my husband's ex-wife, did that when it came down to his my husband's sons, and it really messed up a lot. I think oftentimes we as women, we tend to think, because what we see and how men tend to behave on with us, we feel as if that's the type of man they're going to become. But sometimes when you give them that role to actually be a father, a full-time father, like, here, this is your child, you need to take responsibility. That's when they actually will grow up. Because we never give them the opportunity to grow up, all we see is the negative side of them, because we don't give them that. It's not even a choice. This is your responsibility. This is what you need to do, and walk away from it. And that they don't have that chance to actually grow up. So we're able to say they're deadbeats, they're blah, 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 because we don't actually give them opportunity to become a full-time father.
And if you look at it, that's what I was telling Marcella. I was telling Marcella that, okay, you have to leave that child with a man.
Every scenario don't line up with that.
No, but you have to do it.
I don't have to do anything, because the fact of the matter is, if you continue to deny that that's your child, there's no way that I'm throwing my child into the fire like that.
The man is denying that is his child.
Sir, that's what I've been saying. I'm not going around talking about, I know he knows. Oh, he's so happy to be a father, and I'm just everybody thinks that black women just keep their kids away from their daddies. That's not how it works. I have a wide open door policy. Please come pick up your damn kids, because I need me time too. But that's not always how it's set up. That's not always how it looks. And my job is not to make anybody be a parent. You know what your responsibilities are. You know what you did when you laid down and made that baby. It's not my job to follow behind you to say, hey, be a dad. Hey, this is how you be a dad.
Eric, we can't hear you.
This is how you be a parent.
Eric, we can't hear you.
That's not my job.
Yeah. Marcella, check this out. I got to tell you guys this, okay? Eric, we can't hear you. You might have to... Your phone is mute. Eric, your phone is mute. Let me see real quick. Maybe I muted Eric. It's not mute anymore. Okay, so let me put it this way, Marcella. Eric is mute. Let me put it this way. Relationship is very, very delicate, especially when there is a birth without marriage, right? It becomes a delicate situation. But I got to tell you this, just like Tia was saying.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
You can't know the true nature of somebody if they're not given an opportunity to exercise. Yes, so you're giving him opportunity to exercise, but he's not taking care of that opportunity. We don't know the details. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes men become adamant because of the way they talk to. Okay, if I have this water, right, and it's right here, and I have a wife that wants me to come take this water, but she talks to me like I'm a 3-year-old child, do you think I'm going to come take away that water? I will not. Even if heaven comes down, I will not take away that water, because at that moment I was not asked to, I was told to.
That's still not my scenario, so it does not apply.
No. I don't. That is why I said earlier, I don't know. We don't know the scenario.
But here's the other problem.
But approach.
We need to stop having, in order for the kids to have a chance to be with both their parents, we need to stop having children out of wedlock.
That's the essence of this program. You see, this program, right? Let me tell Angela and Marcella. Is for two things: bringing the black family together and creating wealth in the black community. That's the essence of this show. We want to bring black family together. The ones that already have kids, how can we mediate, talk to go nationwide and have these families come together as one under one roof? When we come together under one roof, guess what we can do? Now you can save money. Instead of paying 2 rents or paying 2 mortgage, you're paying 1 mortgage. Then the other money you can use it to create what? By buying a house and turning your house into a rental property and then buying another house, because guess what happened?
Yeah.
Invest it. Guess what happened? By the time you turn 65 and retire, you need about 2.4 million to 3 million to survive up to 85 to 90 years old without going back to work, which means you can retire and live comfortably. Don't go back to work, stay on your 401k, be able to take vacation, be able to be there for your kids, be able to foot that hospital bill. That's 2.4 million at today inflation. Excuse me, but you can only do this if the both husband and wife live in one household and not have two mortgage and not spend 40 years of their marriage life paying for two houses. If you take $2,500, right, times 2, and adjust it over inflation for the next 30 years, that's a lot of money. You see? But if you under one household and only pay one mortgage, but buy a second house as a rental property, once you buy a second house as a rental property that you're not paying for, but people are paying you to be there, now you can have a third, fourth, fifth, sixth houses, right, as rental property. And you can actually, because all you need to do is to sell one of two properties every 10 years to be able to survive your retirement. Because 401k, what people don't know, is going to be solvent very soon. In fact, in the next 20 years, it's going to be solvent. 401k will disappear. You will not have retirement anymore. But how do you survive this? You survive it by having other rental property, other property that you can sell.
Not necessarily that, just other rental properties, Alex, because everybody doesn't want to be a landlord, but just other investments that make you money, regardless.
There are many things you can do. No, but Eric, I know what you're saying. Not everybody wants to be a landlord, but not everybody can have a job. It's only 9% of the world population own business.
Right.
So it's easier for you to have a rental property that you can sell than to own a business.
Right.
That's why we see proper real estate as the most safest savings. Actually, the most safest savings is landed property.
So are you saying there's no money to be made in the stock market?
Stock market is a legalized gamble, man. Somebody's using your money to make money.
But I think you said it was a safe.
I didn't ask you. I
didn't say stock market.
Is it another avenue to generate?
It is an avenue to make money. Okay. Yeah, it is an avenue.
Real estate is
but
the best.
You can.
Probably the safest. Okay. All right.
Real estate is the number one best.
Right.
Stock market, like I tell people all the time, if you want to deal with stock market, do not put more than 10% of your money in stock.
Right.
But you have to have at least 60% of your money in real estate.
Right.
Yeah. Then you can use 20 to 30% to create a job, which means you open up a business. If you don't know how to create business, invest in a friend that already has a business or about to start a business.
Right.
Take 20% of.
Let's not get too far off of what the.
No, it's part of the discussion.
Okay.
So it's part of the discussion. That's why I'm saying, Mashallah, it's very, very cumbersome that we as blacks should now start teaching our daughters, right? The future generation. No, we have to raise you as a mother. As a wife, not as a mother. Because the problem in our community, we are raising the girls now as a mother. But we have to raise them as a wife and raise our boys as a husband.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, but a mother cannot raise a boy to be a husband. You see that 13-year-old boy? You got to let him go. If you keep him up to his 18, you've missed an opportunity. Even if his dad is crazy, as long as he's not a drug addict, as long as he's not a pedophile,
Sir,
If you said it's not his...
You can't make nobody go with somebody that don't claim them. It don't make sense.
Put him into a paternity. Prove his paternity and send him and tell me that's your son. He has to take care of him. Send him a one-way ticket to he says Michigan, right? Get him a one-way ticket.
But he has another family too, doesn't he?
It doesn't matter if he has a family. It doesn't matter. His son is his son.
It does matter because you know how stepkids or half brothers and sisters get treated in the household, especially at this age. That might have been a good idea when he was younger, but I think at this age he's about to go into high school. I'm gonna tell you. My cousin was always raised by my uncle, but when he got into, I think, freshman or sophomore year in high school, and he found out that my uncle wasn't his real dad, he wants to go stay with his real dad, so they let him go. That shit didn't last but a week or two.
How old was he then?
My brother were younger, and we wanted to go live with our dad. My mom was like, go ahead and go over there. After 2 weeks, we was ready to come back because we didn't like the stepmama and my little half brother. I wanted to chunk his ass out a window. So I'm just saying that don't always work.
It's sibling rivalry. There's going to be always similar rivalry. But what I'm going to ask Marshella. Marshella, what's the relationship between his wife and your son?
There's no relationship. We don't communicate with them. We have our own life here in Texas. My son knows his family as far as his mother, his sisters, his uncles. He knows his dad's family, but they don't make a conscious effort to be a part of his life. And I'm not forcing people to be a part of nobody's lives.
Angela was about to say something.
If you're not human enough to take care of your responsibilities, then that's on you, and that's between you and God. But at the end of the day, I've left the door open. I've made it available for him. My son is 13 years old, and he makes his own decisions now. And he has made up his mind that that's not his family. He does not want to associate with them, and he does not want to be known as his son or the siblings of his children. He lets that be clear.
Well, now, part of that might be because he ain't never did nothing for him. And like a lot of women, man, even my mom didn't force my dad to pay child support, and he didn't. Y'all women need to start stepping up and make these dudes paying child support, because if you start making them paying child support, that might make them want to have a relationship or at least try to be involved. You know what I'm saying?
It's just the fact that none of y'all know the avenues about going through the whole child support situation. And at the end of the day, they take you through a lot of loopholes, especially when it's out of state type stuff. And they'll keep sending your stuff back and sending it back to the point where they keep having you go back and forth. At the end of the day, I have a household to take care of off of my one income. So I'm not leaving work early or missing out on work.
But that's why you got to do it when the kids are young, when they're first born.
Sir, I've been doing this since Amir was born. This is what I'm saying. I'm not playing with the whole child support system.
The thing is this, right?
It's not set up for the mothers to get child support anyway. The whole system.
I don't know about that, Rodney. I don't know about that right there.
No. Why I totally disagree.
Why I say that is based on what she was talking about. No, listen. No, based on what she was talking about, right? And I could tell you my experience. I lived in Florida, and he lived in New York.
So you went off of one.
Okay, so I'm just saying. I'm just going, Eric. I'm going off of my experience. You know,
based on your personal experience. Y'all are two people. I'm talking about it in general. I worked in the human resources department for 2 years, and yes, child support is set up for the women to get. Period.
A lot.
And
a lot.
It's a government handout.
It is.
To women, not even to the kids. According to what I had, even on the government statistics, right? And also black demography, the kids usually get about 10%.
Shit.
Hold on, bro. Let me help you. Let me help you with something.
No, about 10%. Okay, 20%. Let's just let it 20%.
When I worked at a couple of places. When I worked at a couple of places, I had to send a couple of guys I worked with to Fathers for Equal Rights. because one guy, the child support, every time he got paid, they took all of his money and left him with like $100. I'm talking about a guy who had like $1,200 coming. He looking for his check is $150, $100 and stuff like that.
Well, how many kids did he have?
Well, he had one with his ex-wife, but they were just taking him to the cleaners. He had one kid.
Yeah, but did he pay child support from the time the kid was born?
Yep.
He could have been paying back support.
Yep. No, he was paying child support. But anyway, when I sent them to Father for Equal Rights, they went down there and told them that was wrong what they were doing, and they stopped the child support for several months because they had taken so much money for the man. So, but my point is this: when Rhonda was saying that it's not set up for women, now I don't know. Maybe it wasn't set up for you and Marshila, but the other people I knew, it was set up for them.
I don't utilize their services. So it don't have nothing.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, they saying they ain't set up for women.
I'm just saying too. I know.
The whole damn thing. Because at the end of the day, 16 years I've been in the game taking care of children, and they ain't slipped not one time.
Okay, I was saying this.
Well, that's good. I mean, but you know, that don't mean that you shouldn't still get it, though. I mean, but right. I mean, you do it the best way you do it, but that's okay.
You're right. You're right, Victor, because I had it on both sides where I have a father who doesn't do for the kid or is no. Let me put it this way: a father who I had a friend who was doing for his child. He did everything for his child. Yet the system just sucked him dry of money. Yeah. And then I had it on my female friend's side where they had to fight child support to get a dollar out of the father every time they call or he hasn't sent anything for the month. Okay, we'll just send a letter stating that he needs to make a payment. And they never followed up. They never did anything. The father got away with murder because he never took care of his children or his child.
Was he one of them guys that was in between jobs?
No, he had a job. In fact, I know of one in particular was working at his job, and the first check that they took out some of his. He left the job and he went to another job.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Just because they weren't getting the money the way they were supposed to doesn't mean the system's not set up for women to get child support. Because that's what that's where this whole discussion started. Because you said that it's not the system not set up for women to get child support, and that's completely wrong because it is.
Well, I might have said that, but I mean they have to fight. Some mothers have to fight
very
so hard.
Very few mothers do
very
that.
Few
very
mothers
very few,
like
almost negligible. Most of them. Do you know that there are look at Kim Kardashian, $250,000 a month on child support.
That's just crazy.
What is she gonna do with $250,000 a month on child support?
It's just because they believe in keeping the children's lifestyle the same way. But
guess what?
But Kim Kardashian married right? She
man.
By the right man.
Man, right? I don't get $250,000 a year. Never have. You know what I'm saying?
Kim Kardashian get more than that.
But that's what he pays a month. $250,000 a month.
But see,
I'm saying she gets more than that on her own.
Right.
She's a billionaire, but what is she doing with $250,000?
So she just perpetuates what we were just talking about. Because if she hold on, can I finish the thought? I have been talking about it. And can somebody mute that phone? Oh, that's my little niece. Nope, she can make all the noise she wants. Hey, Amari.
Shut up, kid. Shut up.
If Kim Kardashian is making millions of dollars, you know what I'm saying, more than she's getting paid in child support, then why does she even need that?
Why she even need it?
Because why is Kanye not supposed to take care of his children?
Who said he's not?
With $250,000 a month?
Hold on.
The fact of the matter is their idea of this is just how child support works. Their idea of giving the mother, awarding the mother the amount that they award her is to give the children the same lifestyle that they had with both parents in the household.
No.
Okay. And they don't have that already?
$250,000 is a lifestyle for a child?
Hold on.
Why y'all arguing over some rich folks?
We're not arguing. Can I say something? Shit. My wife made more fucking money than I did, and I still had to pay her fucking child support.
That's because she had the kids.
No, she didn't. I kept them kids 50% of the time.
That's bad.
Was that between the two of y'all?
What?
I said, was that court ordered or was that between the two of y'all?
Was the court order was them just for me just to get them the first, third, and the fifth. But my kids wasn't rolling with that shit, and neither was I. I still had to pay that child support regardless of how often they stayed with me. That's what I'm saying. We're all, I'm still coming back to. I'm not trying to go to any individual. Don't apply to me.
I don't get child support.
I'm not well,
children,
but look. This conversation started because Rhonda said it's not geared for women to get child support, and that's not true. It is. That's all I'm trying to get to. All this other stuff, all these other sidebars, and all these personal instances, that shit doesn't matter.
Okay, well, maybe I should say it's not
geared. The child support conversation actually did stem off the fact that we were talking about my situation. My personal situation.
Well, y'all, that's because you and Alex started that. But no, when she said child support's not geared towards women, that didn't have nothing to do with you or me or anybody else. That has something to do with the country.
Eric, it doesn't go.
Okay, I wasn't talking. Go ahead. Everybody, you know what? I don't like getting interrupted, and I try not to interrupt.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm done.
I was just saying to you, I should have said it is not always in favor of the woman, like the men think that it is. Most women have to struggle to get child support. They have to go to the system. They have to beg. They have to call until they're blue. You get fed up of that. I've had friends who had to go
they don't. And the only reason why they have to do that is because the man don't have a job or he don't work.
It's only when the man don't have a job or don't work.
When you're dealing with a man that doesn't have a job or he's jumping from job to job so he can bypass that child support.
That's the only time.
But if he has a steady job, you can't bypass it.
At all.
So that's why it's made for women.
Exactly.
In fact, even women believe that around that. Women even believe that it's made for women, not for the kids. So going forward to what we're saying, you see what we're saying about the adjusted. So when you have women in group 8 that are adjusted to group 6, that's the issue that will come across. They're beautiful, but then they get out of marriage really quick because they are not intrigued. They thought that marriage is going to be all beautiful roses. It's going to be Sydney, Disney or whatever it's called. It's going to be something that they're going to have fanfare about. They're going to be handed this and they're going to be handed flour every morning on the bed. That the guy is going to make him breakfast. No man is going to make you breakfast when you marry. You're supposed to be bringing the man breakfast. You see what I'm saying?
That's not true. Well, I mean, maybe for most men, I used to make breakfast for my wife all the time.
So what?
Hold up.
I used to bring breakfast to my wife in bed.
Who wrote these rules?
Exactly. Okay. Who said that women were supposed to be servants?
Who said that the woman has to bring
No. I never said the woman has to. No, you guys, that is not what I said. I didn't say the woman has to bring breakfast to the guy on the bed. What I'm saying is that she is thinking, believing with all this Disney thing that a man is supposed to give her breakfast on the bed every morning.
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
That goes both ways. So
I was about to say
I don't need no breakfast in the morning on my bed. I mean, I'm sleeping.
When people get married, they think that it's all roses and unicorns and rainbows. And marriage is work. Marriage is another freaking
But that
job.
But that is not what women in level 8 think. You see what we're saying? That's why it's good for you to go and watch those levels.
Level 6 adjusted.
No. With level 6 adjusted. But who is level 6 adjusted? Is women from level 8, right?
They got children.
Yeah, because we haven't gotten into level 8. When we get into level 8, now you're going to hear everything about level 8. But we're discussing level 6 adjusted. So it's those women in level 8, which means they didn't get married before they turned 40. They had one child before they turned 40. And they couldn't get married, but because of attitude, nobody could wife her before she turned 40. Then she has 2 kids or more from previous marriage. These are women in level 8.
Okay.
But because of this, now they became level 6 adjusted. Remember, there is no level 7. Level 7 is all blanked out. Because the reason why we don't do level 7 is because when we start bringing people to this program and start asking them questions, guess what they're going to all say? If you ask them what's their sexual market value, they're going to say level 7. Everybody want to be level 7. You see? That's why it's blanked out. So, Marshall, if you're in level... Mashila, if you're in level 8, right? Guess what you're going to do? You're going to believe that Disney bullshit.
You said Disney?
Yeah.
That marriage is all flower and roses. That marriage is this, marriage is that. That you got to be giving... That every morning when you wake up, there is a flower next to your bed. In fact, there's going to be roses delivered at your office every morning with a note written on it. That Captain Save Me is flying down with a horse.
Nah.
Boy, he tripping.
You see? So you're going to see that Captain Save Me flying down with a horse. Go ahead, Eric.
No. The whole problem with that, like I said before, is and that's why I told somebody the other day, and I didn't really mean it like that, but you know, at least when we had separate but equal, the black family was a lot stronger, like back in the, you know, the 70s and before. But ever since, you know, like you said, this women like this women empowerment movie, ever since women started claiming they could do anything a man can do, which is a lie, then that's where our family even started splitting it even more. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, for some reason, we can't get back to the family unit. And that's really what it's all about. And really, children need their mother and their father in their life, period. So for you to say, and I agree with it a little bit, where the man should have to take care of his son, but at the same time, the woman still has a part to play in that son's life too. So it like I said before,
it's both parents. It has to be balanced out.
Right. So it would be difficult for any woman to go drop her child off at her dad's house and then be 1,000 miles away. Now, if he was right down the street in the same city or something, that's a different story. But if they're in completely different states, that's hard to do. That's almost impossible for any nurturing woman, because women are naturally nurturing.
But guess what? But the natural instinct is what is killing the family, because guess what? If you don't let that child go at certain age and he doesn't get that fatherly love, fatherly upbringing, not fatherly love, because you can call it fatherly love, because fatherly love means training a man to be a man.
Right.
Guess what he's going to do? He's going to be on his feminine touch.
Yep.
We all know the result of feminine touch. What is the result? A man becoming tomorrow getting confused about his sexuality.
Yep.
A man not knowing when he's dealing with a woman, he doesn't know which avenue to approach from. Because guess what? Because he doesn't know it.
Because
a woman can't teach a man how to be a man.
Amen.
So those things are the detriment. So it's up to you to say, oh, I'm not going to take him to his father, but you're going to have to live the rest of your life with the consequences of what he's going to go through, of his confusion, of his doubt about himself, of him being confused about his sexuality, especially when if he's the only man around 90% of women. We know the result today, what is going on in the black community. Go to Atlanta and see what men.
No, you don't want to do that.
Men that grew up in a household of 60% of women and above. Go to Atlanta and see the result today.
Not good.
It's not good.
End up being soft and a little bit too feminine. You know what I'm saying?
It's not
they
good.
haven't learned how to exercise their masculinity. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Didn't Victor grow up in that household with a lot of women, and I think he came out pretty good, right, Vic?
What's that?
Didn't you grow up didn't you mention in a few podcasts before that you grew up among a lot of women?
No. My daddy raised me and my brother, but there was a lot of strong women in my family, but my daddy raised me.
I remember you mentioning that.
But his dad.
But I was raised
by his dad.
Okay.
So Rhonda.
Yeah, there was a lot of strong women in the family, but my dad raised me.
Okay.
And guess what a lot of strong women do to a man? It makes the guy confused, because number one, you're gonna have a man in a household married to a woman, and his wife is treating him like nothing, and he doesn't know how to respond. The day he responds and becomes that lion, she might end up losing her life or something might happen to her. But as a man, he's supposed to know how to push back if he was a man, raised by a man.
Right. Yep.
You see? So that is why it's very, very consequential when we don't allow those boys go back to their dad, to be raised by their dad, slapped by their dad, whooped by their dad, taught by their dad, told by their dad how to climb a tree, told by their dad how to change a tire. Do you know that I've seen guys on the highway don't know how to change a tire?
That's sad.
With a flat tire, and they are sitting inside the car calling AAA. I have never called AAA in my life to change my tire.
Nope.
Do you know what I do? I push that car on the side, I jack it up, and I change my tire, and I'm on the go. Right. Even in that heat, in that 120-degree heat of 114, I'm still changing my damn tire.
I don't know about that. If it's that hot, I might go ahead and call.
But guess what? You call AAA and they tell you that AAA won't be there for the next 4 hours.
Oh no! I'm gonna get out.
You gotta go.
Yep, I've done it.
You gotta go.
I had to take my clothes all the way down to my little.
So let me ask a question then, Alex.
Yeah.
The woman is raising a boy, and she has the quality or the equipment to do that, to teach the boy. I taught my son to drive. I taught my son when I learned to change a tire, when I went to the mechanic, he showed me and he said, okay, Rhonda, this is what you do, because I'm a single parent. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm raising a boy. And he says, this is what you do. You take off the lug nuts. And he showed me what to do, took his time. And I learned to do it. I learned to do it so that I won't be stranded at the side of the road. And, like, who knows what can happen as a female. So I learned to do it. Once I learned to do it, I taught it to my son. When he was a teenager, I took off the lugs. I showed him how to change a tire. So you're telling me that only a man can teach his son these things? This is
no. Once again, you're missing the point.
I'm just asking the question.
When you're talking in general, and you're speaking specific, there's always going to be exceptions to the rule.
An exception to the rules.
You're an exception to the rule. Like my mom was an exception to the rule. There's like Marshila would be an exception. There's always going to be exceptions to the rule, but the general. He's talking about in general, not there ain't no women out here who can teach how to change a flat tire. Because I taught both of my girls how to change tires, check oil, everything. They won't do it, but I taught them.
You know the bottom line. All this. You know the bottom line. All this boils down to: women have two responsibilities: the kitchen and the bedroom.
Angela, what do you say? Angela,
I'm sorry, I just have to. Y'all too serious. I have to throw that in there, make y'all laugh.
Yes, Angela, is she still there? I want to hear what's your opinion, Angela? Or preacher?
My opinion on what? That hot mess that you just was saying.
Hey, the kitchen and the bedroom. The kitchen and the bedroom.
No, okay. Sir. No, sir.
Okay. Rhonda, let me say this to you, right? No matter how good a woman is taught by her dad to be able to do something, or by somebody else to be able to do something, right? It should not represent a man in the house.
And she'll never be able to raise a boy like a man can.
No, you can never, because the strength is not the same. It shouldn't be an excuse. That's the problem we have. That, you see, the problem in America and around the world that is infesting the world today is our women that believe that they can do it all by themselves.
I don't think that's what she's saying. I think what she's saying.
No. We're heading somewhere.
He ain't saying what she's saying. He's just saying in general. Once again, young lady.
Yeah, I'm spreading the whole thing. I'm not saying that she said that, but what I'm saying is this: the problem becomes when those statements are made. When that feminist instinct kicks in, the end result is what we have in Atlanta, in California today. Because you're confusing a man. When you play the role of a woman, you confuse a man. The reason why you confuse a man, tomorrow if he goes and marries a woman that is in tune with her femininity, right? she's going to then tell the woman that is in tune with her femininity that my mom could do this, my mom could do that. Why can't you do like my mom? Because she's trying to marry her mom in another woman's skin.
Mm-hmm.
You see how confusing that can be?
I understand that. I understand that, Alex.
So you don't ever want to project your masculinity to your son. I've made that mistake before because my mom was a masculine woman. I had to tell myself one day, when I started listening to the podcast by all these red pills and other men, right? I had to tell myself to stop. That don't compare another woman to your mom. Don't let another woman do the things your mom could do. I didn't marry my mom, or I'm not going to marry my mom, you know. I have to marry somebody because of what I like in them. Go ahead, Rhonda. I'm sorry for calling you.
So my question is, based on what you're saying and what everybody else agrees to, if they do agree to it, is it like a 80% that a woman raising a son, the son will come out to be a weak man? Is that the statistics?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that high.
Huh?
And some, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Rhonda, let me tell you.
I don't know if it's that high, but yeah, the majority of men, like I have once again, I have men in my family that was raised by only women, and I even had my nephew, and he's like, yeah, I know I'm a little soft because I said, I know. I said, and that's just because you was raised by your mom. That's not your fault. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have a man around long enough because my brother died at an early age to show you how to be a man in certain situations. You're not saying, because when you just say a weak man, it's got to be, that's too general. You got to say weak in some particular category. Because he's not going to be, because I don't think my nephew's weak, but I think when it comes to dealing with a woman, he's weak.
Yes. Okay, Eric, to add to what you just said right now, do you know that in Nigeria, when a brother, like the way your brother died, right? Mm-hmm. Do you know that his wife is supposed to send his sons to you to raise them?
And that would have been fine with me. I was going up.
That's how we do it back home. They will send the sons, and once they turn like 10, 11, or 12, they send it to their brothers or their uncles to raise.
And that would have been fine.
Because she knows she can't do it. She can't raise a man because she understands that. So, what I'm trying to say, Rhonda, is this. No matter, let me give you some statistics. According to blackdemographic.com, right, and U.S. Census, 85% of men in jail are raised by single mother, black men. That's high.
Wow, that's very high.
85% of black men in jail are raised by single mothers.
I believe it.
76% of black men that are transgender or in the gay community are raised by single mothers.
Mm-hmm.
You see how confusing it is, right? Because what happened, the reason why these men end in jail is because when a man raises a man that is born and raised by a man, when he raises a man, he teaches that man restraint. But a woman usually would, because he's going to look at the way you interact with other women. When you have two men arguing with each other, they argue, soccer, football, everything, and go back and forth and argue. At the end of the day, they walk away. But they raise their voice, both at the barber shop or in the living room with alcohol, beer, everything. They talk like that. Men that are raised by men deal like that. But guess what happened? When you have two women arguing over something, in the next 5 minutes, one is going to slap the other one. There's no way two women will argue for more than 5 minutes without one pulling their hair.
I don't know what the statistics in Trinidad is as far as gay men, but what we used to do was, if you're a single mom and living in Trinidad and Tobago, you had brothers, you had uncles, and
that's what we do in Nigeria.
The minute your male son acts up, we call, as they say, it takes a village to raise a child. You know, we call our uncle. I used to, well, not me. I wasn't in Trinidad then, but we will call our uncles and we'll say, "Hey, can you come and the child hear Uncle so coming, and they know a whooping is sure, and they'll get a whooping, and that's how we raise young men who are single parent, who's under the single parent of a woman,
Yeah, I was raised by a bunch of my uncles too.
That's what we do in Nigeria. The uncles will come and whoop them, or you send the son. Usually at the age of 10 or 12, the son will go to.
Even with my son in Florida, I have a cousin. He's not my uncle; he's a cousin. But he's very strict and he's tall. He's 6'7" or something, and everybody fearful of him. And I would put the fear of God in my child. I say, okay, let me make a call to Dexter. You want to act up? Okay, let me call. And he said, no, don't, because he knows. So I had that support. So my son, somehow got that manly thing about him, from the people that I surrounded myself and surrounded him, with. So I understand the statistics of the statistics, but I believe
that means that maybe you're in the 15% or the 24%, Rhonda. You're not in the 70%.
She's not. Yeah, she's lucky.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
Michelle and Angela, please. What do you guys think about what we just said? Marcella? Angela?
Might be asleep.
You ain't lying.
Yeah,
might be taking care of it.
I'm asleep.
You said what?
I ain't sleep.
Okay. So what do you guys, the two of you, what do you guys think about what we just said? What do you guys think? Angela, go ahead.
I agree with what you're saying. I don't know that I should speak really on it because I don't have any kids. So I'm just kind of listening because, some people say when you don't have kids, you shouldn't have an opinion.
No, you should have an opinion because you were raised. This is the problem in the society. Like when I tell people this, right? You were once a kid, right? You're somebody's child, right? You have an experience. You knew how your family, you knew what happened in your household. So it's always very vital because at the end of the day, you're always going to interact with those kids. So the way society puts it that, you shouldn't tell people how to raise their kids. But you were raised too.
And she's helped raise other kids. She was part of my children's life all their life since they were born.
Yeah.
So you nephews, you have an opinion, and
you have a huge opinion because there are things you see. There are things that you see in that mall. There are things you see in those buses. There are things you see in the train. There are things you see in the street that you can actually tell people that, guess what? Because I got to tell you, do you know that, 57 of black women in America have kids for 16% of black men. 57% of black women have kids for 16% of black men. This is out of wedlock. Okay. Check this out. Of that 57, do you know that more than 2/3 are not supposed to have kids at the first place?
What did you say? Out of that 57, what?
Of that 57, 2/3 of them are not even supposed to have kids because they can't raise kids.
Right.
They're not worthy of being mothers.
That's definitely true. You see a lot of people that can't. You looking at them like why they have kids because they don't know how to raise them.
You ain't know how to raise them.
They're not fit to be mothers.
Like your friend or some shit. Yeah.
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 And it's a different generation. I mean, back in the day, your grandparents didn't play. Mm-hmm. So you could not talk. These kids talk to their parents like they're crazy.
Man.
And now, but some of them, they let them do it. Mm-hmm. They're like, they want to be their friend, and you cannot
make your child your friend.
No, you have to be a parent first. And it's sad to see how back in the day, your grandparents, your parents, how they raised their children. Like you couldn't even look crazy. You could be in church, in a whole different room, and you say something or do something, and your mama would be like, I know what you did.
Yep.
You're getting in trouble.
I think getting your ass whooped in the church.
Right. Nowadays you can't say anything and do anything to your child in public because people don't mind their business and they want to put out a cell phone and they want to start recording and then they want to report you, but you sure can handle it back home. Like you can take your child home and say, all right, you gonna get it when we get home.
Yep.
But if you look at it this way, right? Just check this out. We cannot be scared of the society when we want to raise our kids, because it only is going to end two ways. Either your child is raised right by you by taking all the whipping, or the society will deal with your child by incarcerating or death sentence. So it's your choice. Because I remember one time my auntie was beating her daughter, and her daughter wanted to call police. She said, yeah, call police. But when the police get here, I will tell them to take you and never let you back in my house.
Yeah, exactly what my mama said.
I agree with that.
And the child, she chose to not call police.
Right.
Because when she calls police, she's not coming back to that house. You see what happened? And her husband called from Nigeria and said, if you call police, that's the end. You never coming back to this house.
And that's how it goes.
You have you have to stand up. I mean, Eric knows. Everybody knows. When I watch your kids, it's under my rules.
That's
so
right.
Don't come back to me saying I can't, punish your child.
Discipline your children, but then don't bring them over here.
Then that's it. I'm not watching them then.
That's right.
Because I'm not playing around. You're not gonna sit up here and talk to me crazy and disrespect me because I am your elder. I am in charge. You are not.
It's amazing how I've seen these videos on TikTok and all these other social media things where a kid is cussing at whether his father or his mother,
Nope.
And even from a little child, I saw one where the father said, okay, it's time for timeout. And he said, F you, right? And they think that's cute. They laugh at it. They play with it, That's cute. The child is cussing. So they had that as a little, little thing going around Facebook, Facebook and stuff, But that is where it stems from. If you don't train a child from the time the child is young, when he's older, he's gonna slap the shit out of you. You've been laughing at him all through his life at the funny things that you think he's doing. He's cussing you out and he's expressing himself. And then when he reaches 16, you want to tell him, be respectful.
That's why they go to the mall and shoot up people, and they don't even know the reason why they shoot up people, because they think it's okay to do anything.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
They go to the mall, they shoot up people.
I know one mama on this line that would jaw jack her son if he tried to say fuck you or something like that. She knocked that nigga in the next year. I mean that brother.
Before we continue tonight, I got to talk about the sponsor of tonight. The sponsor of tonight is Tia. Tia is the sponsor of tonight's podcast. So this is the perfume that she sent. So you can get in touch with her. I'm going to try to leave the link. She's a Mary Kay lady. She does sells Mary Kay. If you want the best makeup that you need for your makeup, I'm going to let her talk for a minute so that she can talk more about this, about her brand, Mary Kay website and stuff. She can leave the link on in the inbox so that way, hey, ladies, gentlemen, this perfume right here is for men, but she's going to talk more about ladies, okay? She's the sponsor for tonight's podcast. So this is Mary Kay High Intensity Ocean. So this is right here, High Intensity Ocean by Mary Kay. You see that? That for men is a very good cologne. And this right here is the same thing, but this is sport. So this is sport. So Tia, please talk more about your.
Awesome. Thank you, Alice. Thank you so much. I am a Mary Kay beauty consultant. And I'm actually doing a sale started midnight my time, so it actually started already until 11:59 tomorrow, where you'll be able to receive 30% off of any and everything that's on my website. I can ship to you as well. You just let me know. You don't order, you have to order directly from me so that you can get the 30% off. We have everything that you need. I am a beauty consultant, so I want to make sure your face is beautified, making sure your face is looking well. Not so much with makeup, but just making sure your face is healthy skin from the outside. So that's my job. That's what I love to do. And I would love your support for men and women.
Okay. And also, if you can drop your link on the stuff, drop it and leave a comment with your link. And guys, please like this video. I want all of you to just hit a like button on the video, okay? Like the video so that way we can, if you don't like the video.
Are you sending us the video?
No, this video is always on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you can push the like button. You can push the like button over there so that way, because if you push the like button, this video can send out because with the more they likes, the more YouTube push it more forward. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So from there, we can get a lot of views and subscription, and then we can all be great. You see what I'm saying? So I got to ask Mashallah a question tonight. Mashallah, what do you think? At what age do you think that a mom should start teaching her daughter how to be a wife? Because this program is not for women to be mothers anymore. We're tired of them being mothers. Because that's the problem we have. When you have 57% of women having kids for only 16% of the men, that's a big problem. So that's being a mother. But now we want 57. We want 80% of the women being wife to 80% of the men. That's our target for the next 30 years. So
I don't teach my daughter to be either a wife or a mother.
And tell us why you don't teach your daughter to be either a wife or a mother. What do you teach your daughter to be?
I feel like that should be her choice. And if she voiced to me that she doesn't have the goal to be either or, we don't push it. We move on. She wants to be a doctor. That's what we push. That's what we work on. Education is important in our household. That comes first.
Who can respond to her on that? Who can respond to her on that? Because I can respond, but you might be a little brutal though. Okay, let me respond to this. Most of this is the problem here that we have in the black community. It's also infesting Nigerian community back in Nigeria, and they're trying to stop it a little bit because they've seen the impact. My uncle has spent almost $200 and something thousand on her daughter's education, and I'm trying to muzzle my confidence to go to him and say, that was a mistake. You should have stopped at her Bachelor's of Science, not all the way to master's degree. Because you got to look at it this way. Men don't care about the education a woman obtains. Men don't.
I'm not raising my daughter for a man. That's the difference. I understand, when you raise your children for someone else, that's exactly that's what your goal is then. I'm not placing my daughter in anybody's hands. Honestly, but I don't think any of your sons are worthy enough to even date my daughter.
Okay. Damn. But that's okay. But this is where we're trying to broaden it, because she's not the only one that have this view. So we're trying to broaden it away from Sheila, not just Sheila, but to address it to the broader community. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The reason why it's very dangerous is this. We have moms and sometimes dads that make decisions for their children. You see how children get confused? Then when the child turns 18, 19, 20, 25, guess who they blame? Their mother or their father. Because you made a decision for them, not knowing if that's what they are actually on this earth for. God brought people here for something. Take a look at Dwayne Wade. You remember Dwayne Wade? The argument
any choices for my children though. I let them voice their opinion.
How old is your daughter?
Should be 16 next month.
Okay, 16. She can't really make a decision. Okay, she decided to be a doctor at what age?
My daughter has voiced she wanted to be a doctor since probably kindergarten.
Okay, which is very, very good. We need her. We need her. But the thing is this: she can multitask. Yep. There are a lot of. I'm a mechanical engineer. I've always wanted to be an architect all my life, to be an engineer all my life. But at the same time, I had other things to do. I can't go to school. I can't be doing school every day to be an architect, this every day to be this, just run my life just to be that. No, I have other things in life to do. Eric, you want to say something?
Yep. I think that it's fine that you're helping her to groom to be a doctor, but there's going to come a time in her life, just like anybody else's man or woman, that you're going to want to mate. It's just innate. And it states it in the Bible on several occasions. So what happens if you're only teaching her how to be a doctor and now she's 25, 30 years old and she decides she wants, to get married or what she wants to have a man, but now
I can't teach her how to be a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I can't teach her how to do that.
That's not what I'm saying. I said you're grooming her to be a doctor, but you're not grooming her to be a woman. She needs to be able to be both. To be a woman, to be ready for.
I'm not grooming her to be a wife. I didn't say anything about not grooming her to be a woman. She carries herself like a lady. She's a woman. But what I'm not doing is preparing her for anybody's man, husband, nothing. No.
But you got to prepare her for when a man comes along, Marshila, because they're going to come along. That happens. Let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. I don't know if you want to be married still, but didn't you want to be married at one time?
When I thought it was Disney princess shit, yeah. Once I became an adult, hell
no. At what age did you give up wanting to be married?
Probably after my first child.
Now, see, I can tell you that's not true because we've talked about this, and you've made it. I mean, if you want to go there, you've made it plain to me and Lathan when y'all were dating that you wanted to be married. So that's not true.
I mean, if I am in a relationship with somebody and that's what we're
Marcella, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Whenever a woman is in any sexual physical relationship with a man, she always have that intention to get married.
No, not
every man knows that. Every man knows that. Every man gets that pressure.
That's the
Eric, am I telling the truth? Every man gets that pressure.
At a certain age, yep. Now, that wasn't true when I was 18, 19, 20, 25.
No. I'm talking about when you're already a woman or a man, not a teenager. No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about once a woman turns 21. Once a man turns 25, I start getting that pressure since I was 25.
Yep.
Every woman that I dated that was 21, every time there is no single woman I've
never asked anybody that I dated, with the exception of the gentleman that you just brought up, or never told anybody that I wanted to be married. Besides him, I told him, and that's because as of the men that I have chosen in life, out of all of them, he probably was the one that brought enough to the table for me to feel like, oh, I can settle down with this person. But when that relationship did not work out, I was done.
Okay, but that wasn't when you was 18, when you had your first child. That was just a year ago.
I wasn't 18 when I had my first child.
Well, you know what I'm saying. You just said you stopped wanting to be married. Or
because I wanted to be married
after you had your first child.
Ideally, I wanted to be married to the man that I had children with, and that was who I had children with. Okay, but when he passed away and he died, I didn't see myself with anybody else because I had this child that in my mind, it meant to me that men are going to see me in a different way because I have another man's child. So that already kind of put a damper on me wanting to be married beyond that point. And so it took Lathan to come into my life to show me, okay, there's men out here that can pick up the pieces and pick up the responsibilities of others and want to actually be a part of your life.
Marcella, let me address something to you real quick. That's one thing I got to say to a lot of women to the 3 other women on this show and brother women outside this show. if you have 2 kids, 3 kids, you can always get a husband. Do you know what gets you a man? 2 things get you a man. Your femininity gets you a man, and attitude. Those 2 things will get you a man no matter how many kids you have. Even if you write yourself up, it will get you a man. But the thing is this, do the men that you want you? That's the problem.
Yeah.
And you might be wanting a man of certain caliber, of certain high income, of certain looks, whereas the man below that man is actually who is going to treat you better. But you don't want him. That's number 1.
Yep.
Number 2, you cannot write yourself off. Because I've seen a lot of women make that mistake. They come across men with kids or without kids, and because they have kids, they build a wall right away. You cannot have a wall constructed right in front of you right away. You have to tear that wall down, present yourself as a wife. And I got to tell you, I will say this again. It takes a man 30 minutes to say, damn, she's a wife material.
Yep.
It takes a man 3 months to 6 months to wife it. If a man sees a woman he wants to marry, 30 minutes, just your communication, your conversation with him at a dinner or anything tells him that she is the one. In 3 months to 6 months, he's going to wife it, as long as you maintain that, because 3 months to 6 months is when men put women through tests. And they're going to put that strain on you. They're going to draw you and see where is your breaking point. The longer it takes you to break, you're going to break. But the longer it takes you to break, the wife material you are. When you break, he's going to be like, I have her. That's good. It took her long to break. But some women are just like, I don't want to break my pen.
They bend, but they don't break.
Just, no. That if you bend and you don't break, oh, you a man will love you. Because that means you can take the heat. But if she's like a plastic, you know those plastic that once you, before you crack it is already cracked?
Yep.
Breaking point means your tolerance level. When that attitude, bitch, comes out, that is what we call breaking point. Breaking point is not you taking it off, hey, I can do it. No, that means you can't do it. I can do it all by myself. I'm a strong woman. You already broke. Once you start making those comments, I can do it all, but you already broke. That means you can't take the heat. The minute that you haven't broken means, oh, Eric, that's okay. Don't worry. Your shoes are on the floor. Don't worry. I'm going to move your shoes away. Oh, Eric, when are you coming home? I'm going to make the food. That is the stress and strain, you see? Mm-hmm. You being able to do those things, being able to make the man feel like a king is your femininity. But I'm a boss bitch? Hell no, that's your breaking point. You've already broke. I can do it all by myself. I've always raised my.
When I
no, check this out.
Go work 8+ hours, then come home.
That's your breaking point.
Myself.
That's your breaking point. You see these things that you're saying right now? That's what turned the man away.
That's all right. I'm not looking for one.
But guess what? A year ago, you were looking for one.
And a woman that's looking for a man. I'm not looking for a man.
Every woman has always looked for a man.
No. I'm not looking
Check this out. I
ain't never had a problem with them finding me, so I'm not looking.
They can never find you because they can't see you.
That's okay. They don't need to see me.
It's the type of men that find you. That's the problem.
I'm at the
type of man you want can't see you. But the ones that can see you,
can't see you.
That's right. So this is what it is. I got to tell you something. You have a 16-year-old. that should be your most valuable jewelry right now. You got to sit that girl down.
I'm not.
You got to understand one thing. You don't have to do it. But I got to tell you, that girl will wake up tomorrow and she's going to say, my mom, do you know how many girls I come across? Ask Eric. Ask Victor. You can go to podcasts like Kevin Samuels. So many podcasts out there. You see girls every night saying, my mom did not. They don't say their dad. None of these girls say their dad. I got to tell you, the blame on single mothers by their daughters and sons.
I was going to say, there's no way you can blame an absent body.
But guess what? I have seen girls. You guys might agree to what she's saying. I have seen girls every night that when I watch other people's podcasts, right, blaming their mothers for tearing their family apart. They don't blame their dad that is a ghost dad. They don't blame their dad.
Apart. I couldn't tear her family apart. Her father died, so.
No. I'm generalizing. I'm not talking about you in particular.
I'm just saying that can't be my situation, is what I'm saying, because all I can do is provide what I can provide.
If we discuss
her dad that passed away of illness.
If we discuss your situation now, what can you do today? If you say you don't want to do it, that's okay. But if your daughter wakes up tomorrow and say, Mom, why didn't you teach me how to be a wife?
I'm going to say because I never was a wife. So I can't teach you something I don't know. But what I can do, can do is answer questions when you have questions. So when my daughter comes to me and asks me about boys, or my daughter does not date, and it's not because I told her she can't date.
She go to college.
Want to date. So does she exchange numbers? Are boys interested in her? Of course they are. My daughter is a beautiful girl. I'm not just saying that because she's my daughter. She's a beautiful girl. She's very smart. She's beautiful. She has her head on to the point where what's important to her is her education. That's it. Nothing else is important to her. She doesn't even give a damn about the dance
something else that she's on. Important. Your education ain't going to be important to you for the rest of your life.
And like I said, when she has questions about other things, then that's when we'll address them. I'm not.
It's going to be too late then. That's going to be too late.
Well, then that means that wasn't in the cards for her.
I got to tell you something right now. I have a lady that she and I were discussing 2 days ago. This is what happened. She has 2 daughters, 30 and 31. She had them back to back. They're about 17 months apart, 16 months apart, back to back. We had this conversation so deep that she's like, I am so pissed that their 2 haven't even gotten married. But I raised them to be strong women. I gave them education. I gave them everything I could. But I didn't give them the gift of being a wife because I was never one. But at the same time, I didn't want them to be single mother like I. She started having kids at the age of 17. So by the time she was 19, she already had 2 daughters. So in the process of trying to stop her daughters from not being single mothers, she blew the other side of not making them wives. And she is crying today because her first daughter and an engineer is not trying to be a wife. And she's trying to get her to be a wife.
But that's not her life to live. That's her daughter's life.
No, but the thing is this.
If her daughter's happy with not being a wife, now if her daughter's complaining and coming to her and
you got to listen, man.
That is not a problem.
The listen problem to what, Victor?
Just listen. I mean, because but Marshila, you got a wall up. You got a wall up on everything somebody say, Marshila. You got a wall up really bad. So just wait.
I said it's not the mother's decision. She's crying about her daughter's not marrying. Her daughter's not.
No, you didn't understand what I said.
You didn't hear that right.
You didn't hear what I said.
Right. You didn't hear it right. So that's what I'm saying.
I said that she built her kids just the way you were describing. But in the process of building her kids, she didn't build her kids to be wives. And now she's trying to make them to be wives. They already passed 25. They're 10.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
And she's what Marcella is saying is, hold on. What Marcella is saying is, do the girls even want to be wives?
Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. But he said that the girl go back and ask their mother why.
But they don't know how to be wives.
He didn't never say that.
Yes, he did too. I heard him. He said it twice.
Yeah, he did.
So they want to be wives, but they don't know how to be wives. And this is the problem with the engineer one. The engineer one, the problem she's having is this. She is trying to be a wife, but she doesn't know how to go about it because she is turning all the men off. And her mother was asking me, why is that? And I said to her, it's because she's an engineer.
So this is the same situation of the same girls that were mad at their mom that you said. Because no,
that's different.
This is something that you said. You didn't say that, Vic. I listened very well.
Okay, you guys. Okay, but this is what I'm trying to say, right? So when she's trying to, because they come in asking her, I'm having this problem about being able to be a girlfriend, not even a wife only, but to be a girlfriend, to pass that girlfriend test that will qualify them as a wife, right? They can't even be it because the problem they're having is, so she was asking me, what do I think that is the problem? I'm like, your daughter is an engineer. Most in engineering, women are like 3% of the whole engineers all over the whole world. But do you know why engineer women don't marry engineer men? Because the women are too difficult in engineering field to deal with. We went through college with them. They are very difficult to deal with. They believe they are too smart. It's easy for me to marry a medical doctor, a female medical doctor, than marry an engineer woman. I said that degree alone puts her at disadvantage.
Especially if she hasn't been taught how to be a wife.
Wife.
And that's what I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to say all women, but most women.
Yeah.
I would say 70% of women. And I did a study when I was a journalist, a major at SMU. And 70% of women, yes, I want to be married and have children someday. Even the women I meet now, these young girls be trying to talk to me. First thing I ask them when they in their 30s, I'm like, well, you want to have kids? They're like, yes, someday. I'm like, well, okay, well, I ain't the man for you. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't about to have no more children. But for real, 70% of all women, and that might even be low, at one point in their life want to be married. And I'm not for sure how high it is with men because I wanted to be married at one time, but I just married the wrong person.
Okay, this is Eric. Let me say something because Tia is about to say something. Let me say something about the discussion I had with Rhonda on the last podcast. When Rhonda and I were discussing, right? I told her that men still have the same mentality about marriage and relationship from 20,000 years ago. Men don't change. The only people that have changed are women. Women change constantly. But men still have the same mentality that they had. If you look at it today, 54% of American men are either single or never been married. The same, about 51% of them have not had sex in the last 1 year.
In the last how long?
1 year.
Damn.
Yeah, or are virgin. Either virgin or never had sex in the last 1 year. 51% of American men.
Wow.
57% are single, never married. Okay. So what I told her was this. If you look at that, you see that men have not changed. Men still have that mentality of they want to get married. They want to marry the right woman. They want to have family. They want to be able to have kids. They want to be able to grow their family. They want to be able to reproduce. Reproduction is very, 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 very serious in every man's life. growing up as men, there is no man that I grew up with that never said, I don't want to be a dad.
None that I met
Every
either.
man has always wanted to be a dad. But historically, only about 34% of the men have always reproduced. Historically.
Wow.
Almost 60-something% of men never reproduce or die in wars. Either never reproduce or die in wars. So, but 85% of the women to 95% have always reproduced. But they've always reproduced with, guess what? 34% of the 34 to 40% of the men. Because of hypergamy. Women marry up. Men marry up and down.
Right.
They broaden. Men marry up and down and they broaden, which means 34% of those men, they marry women of up and down, and some of them marry more. Historically.
Yeah, but most women want to marry up.
But most women want to marry up. No, they marry down because they want to settle.
Women,
but if every man to answer Sheila this, Sheila, if every woman in America marries, is it Sheila or Angela that said, if every woman in America marries, right? If every man in America, every black man in America marries, there is still 2 million black women left unmarried.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Women outnumber men, and then on top of that, there's gay men that take away the other
that is
men
not
that
true.
are out there.
That is not true.
That means we should be able to marry about 2 or 3 women then.
Absolutely not. You want women to accept the fact that men will marry multiple women? Hell no.
They've been doing it. They've been doing it anyway.
If we can afford you, why not?
If you got multiple baby mamas, you can have
3 houses with 3 different
wives.
Oh yeah.
Why
yes.
You can do that.
In that case, then women can have multiple men, right?
No,
it don't work like
you
that.
Just said there's not enough men
your nature will not even let you do that.
Wait a minute. I'm just playing devil's advocate. You just said there's not enough men to go around.
There's not enough men that are gonna do everything that you need. One man can't do everything that you need him to do anyway.
Okay.
Something wasn't the podcast last week, Alex, with when you said that women have to accept the fact that they're being what is it? Like they have to accept the fact that the man they're not the only person in the relationship. They have maybe 2 other people or another person. Was it last week we talked about that, Alex?
No, I said that. This is what I said. I said that one thing about men is that most men of higher income bracket have options. They have that option. They can exercise that option if they choose to, but they might not exercise it. But they have options because 80% of the women want that 10% of the men. You see the problem? 80% of the women want to deal with the 10% of that man. So they have that option. Just like Sheila may want a man of certain income, right?
But Sheila don't want none of these men.
Okay,
but the thing is this.
I know what it was. I was watching a thing, a podcast of Kevin Samuels, and he did say that the women have to understand that they have to share their man. You know,
of certain men of certain income level, because right. I got to tell you,
these broke men like to have multiple women too. Trust and believe.
No. I got to tell you something. There is something that You see the problem in life. The men you want are the wrong men that have that option. That's number one. The men that you want are the very broke men that also have that option. You see that middle man, right? Where you have that huge blue collar, right? These men go to work and go home. They are far more faithful in relationship than the high class and the very, very poor ones. That middle, we know them. They go to work. They are the guys that pack the trash. They're the guy that will do construction. They're the guy that do the sewage. You either see them at their house.
They own their own small businesses.
They own their own small businesses.
I thought he was talking about me. For a minute.
Yeah. I'm adding that too. They are the guys that own small businesses. Guess what they do? They go to work. They get tired at work. They're going home to go to their wife and chill. But if they have a nagging wife, they go to the to the bar to drink.
To the bar, to the strip club.
Or to the strip club.
Or go in the garage and drink.
Or go to the garage or the man cave to drink if they have a nagging wife. But if they don't have a nagging wife, guess where they are? They are home. But if you're dealing with the well-to-do and the broke ones, that's where the problem is. But guess what most women settle for? They either go for the rich guy. If the rich one can't get, and if she can't get the rich one, she go to the guy she can control, which is the broke one.
Yep.
Because she wants someone she can control. Then the one she can control, she find out that she can't control that. Guess what she will say? She will say that all men are the same or they are gay. Just like Sheila said. Those men are gay. She said that those men are gay.
Not what I said.
But this is what you got to understand, Sheila.
You didn't say all, but she said you said they're either.
No, what I said is that women outnumber men, so that's already a disadvantage. And then there's so many gay men that takes even more.
That's what she said. I know what she did. That's the same thing that I'm saying. But this is what you got to understand, Sheila. Statistically, in black community, it's not even up to 1% of black men that are gay. It's not even up to 1%.
But they try to make
they on the down low then.
They're not. It's not even up to 1%. The thing is this: when a woman wants to shame you, she either attack the size of your pack or she call you gay. So that's what most women do. When they're having problem with a man, that's the ones that go dating. They either say that the man is a gay man or his dick is small.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. I ain't never said that about no man. But.
No, but that's what they do.
You ain't never accused a man. You ain't never went like this, Marcella. Yeah, you're a little picky with the thumb right there.
But that's what they do. They either shame the man.
Yep.
By calling him gay.
I might shame him a different way, but.
Yeah, but guess what? What we're trying to say is this, right? If you look at it, you find out that as mothers, right, we have to teach our daughters how to be a wife, even if you weren't a wife. And if you're not a wife, right, stop dating women that doesn't have husband. Stop dealing with women that don't have husbands. Deal with women that are in relationship, women that have husband. If you want to be able to get married or be able to transfer such a wealth to your daughter, because I got to tell you, being a wife is the biggest wealth any woman can wish for. Being a husband is the biggest wealth any man can possess. Because the greatest gift a man has in this life, you guys might not know this, is family.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what you do in this life as a man, you don't have a family. You don't have a wife to go to. You don't have kids to, to be proud of. Useless.
It says in the Bible, a man that finds a good wife, not a wife, but a man that finds a good wife, it finds favor of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
In Genesis, it says this is the reason why man and woman will leave their home and go join with another woman, get married, and two become one. It says it all through the Bible. So if you believe in the Bible, then you have to believe that man and women were meant to get married.
Before I bring Tia to this conversation, I got to say one thing before Tia goes on. Mm-hmm. You got to put it this way. There is no way this life can continue or the black community can continue if we don't have black family. A black man and a black woman must marry for we to continue the black race. But if we're not doing that, guess what we're going to have? We're going to have 2+ million black men in jail. 80% of that by single mothers. Then we're going to have men ending up like in Atlanta confused because there was no man there to lay down the rules. Tia, go on with it.
Yes, I'm here. I'm just listening. I really don't have a comment. Wow, a lot has been said. It's been really deep. I totally agree what you're saying, Alex, regarding giving your opinion regarding the world we live in is totally is different. I'm listening to Marshila. Am I saying it correctly? Mm-hmm. And it's just her point of view of how she's raising her daughter is different, totally different from, I'll say,
society.
Yes, very, very different from how we were, how I was raised, how I grew up, and a lot of the women, I'm sure a majority of us was pretty much raised as far as how we're raising our girls and our men to get married. But her view is, now that's not how she's raising her daughter. And this listening to how times has changed from a woman's perspective on how women are now raising their daughters, and so speaking is different. Everybody's entitled to, of course, their own opinion. It's different, and that's it's crazy, so to speak, because it's different. This is not the world I thought I would be living in. I didn't think it would come to this way. Yeah. Even when you were saying, Alex, how things has changed when you went back home, how the women that
it becomes scary.
It's very scary. In my opinion, it is very scary of how this world will be 20 years from now. Forget 20 years, 10 years from now. I have sons. I'm raising guys. I desire for them to have a good wife. I desire them to actually to marry. I know they're good men. They're good guys. I can say that. I can see, not because I raised them, but because they're good men. But it's now that, and this is no knock off on you or Marshilla, but I'm like, the choices for them to find a good wife is minimizing, because now women and men are no longer teaching their children, their daughters, sons, to become husband and wives. Now it's, you have the right to choose whether or not you want to marry a man, or you girls want to marry women, or not to marry at all. If you wanted to stay, single for the rest and just really focus on your careers. Not to knock that, but
the reason why, I'm not trying to cut you off.
Right.
Do you know there was a time as a young man, I was like 17, 18 years old. This is what I'm trying to say. It's not good for parents to interfere with their children's neuron changes. There was a time I wanted to change my last name. In fact, I went through phase hating my last name, trying to change it. Do you know that people literally change their last name because of how they feel?
I've been thinking about changing mine because I know it's a white slave man's name.
But I was trying to change my last name to a white slave name.
Damn.
For no reason. I'm telling you for real.
Wow.
I'm telling you for real. I didn't know why I was. But guess what? It was a phase that I was going through. So your daughter might be having a phase. Don't aid her in that phase.
Let her just go phase? Through that phase. My daughter ain't going through no phase. My daughter clearly just likes to be successful, and so that's what I encourage, is her success. That's what makes her happy. I encourage happiness within my children. I don't force my children to do anything. I don't make them do and conform to what society is telling them that they have to do or conform to, because that's not real life.
That's right. So Rhonda,
yes,
what's your opinion on this?
I'm just listening, and I'm thinking. I just grew up where I saw my mom and my dad a certain way. I saw how my dad was the head of the home. He was a man. He went to work. So did my mom. She was a school teacher, and they worked and built their lives together. And this is what I say, the nutshell of two people coming together in a marriage is to build each other. I don't think there's, we weren't raised where there's male work and female work and stuff like that. We didn't have that in our household. Like my dad would say, "Well, Rhonda, your turn to put out the garbage." It was my brother's turn to wash the dishes. So he never separated anything like this is for male and this is for female. So this is how I grew up, and my experience of it is that's how I raised my son. Well, I just have one. I don't have a girl. But if I had a girl, I would teach her the same thing. As far as like teaching her to be a wife, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I really don't. To teach a daughter how to be a wife, I can teach a daughter how to be what I think everybody needs to teach both boys and girls. Like I taught my son how to be clean, keep his room clean, how to have his surroundings clean, how to iron his clothes, do things like that for himself. And now he's in the military. He knows how to do that.
So basically, you taught your child how to be responsible.
Exactly.
And that's what you're supposed to teach your children, how to be responsible individuals.
No, yes. But you also need to teach them how to be in and how to be in good, healthy relationships and how to avoid toxic and abusive relationships. And I think that's what Alex is saying when he's saying teach them how to be a good wife and how to be a good husband. That means teach them how to be in healthy relationships, not to be in abusive relationships.
I mean, the rewording it makes it sound much better. I'm not teaching my daughter to go and be anybody's slave. No. That's what I did.
And that's not what I
did. It's been a wife a slave.
Okay, well, how did you get teaching your daughter how to be a slave out of what I just said?
I did not. That's what I said. I did not get that from. That's what I get. That's the mindset that I get when you say teach your daughter how to be a wife. Be a wife. How?
It's been a wife.
So wait a minute.
Actually, I want to know what a wife. How you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What
does that look like?
Marcella, what's the definition of a wife?
Aside from what you're already teaching your children, how to be responsible individuals, how to take care of themselves, how to keep themselves clean, how to be respectful. What is teaching your daughter how to be a wife
looks like? What does that look like?
Give me that picture.
Exactly.
It's an action word. It's not so much of you telling her, it's what you're displaying.
Exactly.
It's how you're treating a man, how you're treating a woman. It's all about what you're displaying in your relationships. So if you're not,
but if I'm a single parent, because he's telling me to teach my daughter how to be a wife. I can't teach my daughter how to be a wife. If you have a brother, you can. I don't have a husband. I don't have a boyfriend. I am a single parent. I live in a house with myself and my children.
It's not about. It's a relationship. So if you have a relationship with Eric. Eric is a male. How do you treat him? Do you respect him? Do you overtalk him? Do you listen? Are you argumentative towards him?
Eric is my cousin.
But he's a male. He's a male.
That relationship is a different relationship.
No. It's the same thing. It's you're not going to be intimate with him, but it's how you treat a male. How does Eric treat you as a woman, as a female? Is he respectful? Does he cater to you? Does he disrespect you? Does he talk to you sensibly? He's showing guys, your sons or his
Eric
sons.
and I are respectful to one another. Yes.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying. It's not so much about if you're not in a relationship, it's how you treat a man, period.
But I don't treat every man the same way that I treat Eric.
Okay, can I say something?
Are you argumentative?
I'd like to say something if y'all don't mind. When
I can be.
when you learning how to be a wife, a lot of time I think Alice made a point earlier. The one thing you want to do, you want to be around women that are good wives. That's a starter. Women that are good wives, that are in a healthy relationship, a constructive relationship. That's where you want to start. The bigger thing, what Eric talked about earlier, is what I want to chime into. We've gotten away what God told us what family and wife and husband is all about. That's the bigger thing. Like Eric said, if you're a true believer in the Bible, you can even start there. There's different ways you can start, but you always want to start with God first in a relationship, because without God, a relationship is nothing.
That's right.
That's just the bottom line. Now, outside, when you get that, there's women in the church, there's your aunties, there's your cousins, there's your homegirls. Somebody you know is a good wife.
Right.
And you can go and sit and have quality time with that person and sit down and just kind of like she just said, just kind of watch, listen, just learning some little small
I just
details.
asked the question. I'm
Well,
not
I
trying
mean,
to be a
okay,
wife.
I'm answering I'm answering the question.
My question to my cousin, niece, daughter: Do you want to teach your daughter how to be a single mother, or would you rather her, if she has children, be with her husband or the father of her kids?
So this would be the better question: is what do you teach your child? And I can tell you what I teach my child. Teach my child to save herself for marriage. I teach my child that the man is the head of her household. So if that is what she chooses to do later on in life, you take your time. Don't feel peer pressured into having sex. Don't feel peer pressured into doing anything that you're not ready for. So
you just named off a couple of good qualities of being a wife is all about.
What you just named right now is the highest quality of being a wife. Purity, the number one.
What you call a wife. So then I can tell you whether or not that's what I'm doing, because maybe you're teaching me something now, right? So I have never had a successful picture of what a wife looks like. The last successful relationship that I had to witness was my great-grandparents. That was years ago. So, and even with their situation, it wasn't perfect, and no situation will be perfect, right?
Oh no,
right,
not at all.
Right,
not at all, not by a long shot.
My mom didn't have a successful relationship with my father. She married again, but that wasn't a successful situation. That had its flaws and all. I didn't even want to mirror my relationship based off of that. I didn't want to mirror my motherhood as a result of my mother's motherhood. I wanted to rearrange everything because I felt that there were flaws in her parenting and how she raised her children. Not to say that she wasn't a decent mother, but there's things that you, as you grow older and you see things for yourself, that you pick and choose on what you want to apply in your own life and what you want to let go. And so I can't put the same pressure on my child. I show her and I encourage her and I give her wisdom and guidance that I have, but that doesn't mean that I have all the answers and that my answers are even right.
That's fine. That's fine.
Here's the other thing. Children, you can teach them and tell them a lot, but they're going to go off of what they see you do, not off of what you do.
And then sometimes, go ahead, Eric, I'm sorry.
No, I'm done.
I'll go and say, and then even with teaching them, sometimes they're going to form their own opinion. When they grow up, they're going to have their own experience, and they're going to say, well, my mama Marshila did like this, but I think I can kind of top that with doing it this way. They're going to always
that's
change.
That's exactly how I was as a parent.
Yeah.
See, because all I seen was my mom being a parent. I didn't see her being a wife.
Oh,
I mean,
well,
she was in
I see her saying, save yourself.
You said what?
I see her saying, save yourself.
Stop that. She don't even remember that. I have to tell her. Remember when Malia was here? You going off on a tangent. Stop, Vic.
Yeah, I know, man. I think that was funny. I just can't get that out of my head.
It was funny, but she didn't know what she was talking about.
I'm so confused. But
exactly.
I was just making a joke, that's all.
But only me and him got the joke.
But I mean, I understand. Like in the same way with my son, I can't teach my son how to be a husband, but from the different experiences he has with the young girls that he does talk to, I've seen where I've read messages between my son and little girls, and they're calling him out of his name, and I say, son, that's not the type of woman that you need to be dealing with. If a woman takes the time to call you out your name, then that's not the woman for you. That is already a toxic relationship in the works.
And that's another good quality you just stated about being a good wife and a good lady. That's another good one. So you got them in you. You just guess unsure, I guess.
It's not that I'm unsure. It's just I'm 35 years old, and no, I'm not old. I'm the mother of 3 children, and I've had 3 different men. I'm not ashamed to say that. And they're not all the same type of gentlemen. But at the same time,
Sheila, hold on a minute. You said you've only had 3 men?
I've had...
No, she's had children by 3 men.
And I've given my wifely qualities to the wrong men enough times to know that I don't want to be a wife anymore.
No. You just did it to the wrong man. That's all that is.
Right.
You just did it to the wrong man.
Into that one
right, man.
Do you remember what I told Sheila? Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, my phone getting low, y'all.
She said she gave her wifely qualities to the wrong man. That's the problem. You have to give them to the right man. Have you given your wifely qualities?
No, but what I'm saying when I made that comment was saying that I'm exhausted. Like I'm exhausted with the
2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm time to go. But you're exhausted with what?
The whole becoming a wife situation.
Okay, Sheila, look at it this way. If you listen to our podcast, this is what we've been saying. I'm glad you came today. Hopefully you'll come back again and again and again. And this will be a huge help, not to you, but to all of us and many more people. This is what we've been saying. When you say something about being a wife or not being a wife, right? This podcast right here, what we try to do is to make people understand that being a wife is not easy. But the problem in this being a wife thing is that sometimes the women, what they do is that they choose the wrong man. They go, like I said it earlier, they go for the men that don't want them. Whereas the men that want you, you don't want.
Yep.
That's the problem. So the Dion that wants you, you don't want him, but you want the Derek that doesn't want you. Whereas Derek has Keisha, has LaQuisha, has Sandra, has Amanda. He has many options. I tell women this most of the time. I say to them, the guy that didn't want you, did he finally get married? Yes, he got married. That means there is something that made him not to marry you. That's what you got to figure out.
Well, what's your name again?
Alex.
Mm-hmm. Alex, besides my son's father, and we weren't in a relationship, I don't have no man that I've dated that's married right now. Or has ever been married. I might have come into their life after their first marriage or something. And
they've already had first marriage?
I'm not the type of woman that makes the first move at all.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Did you say that these men already married before, right? Some of them, maybe 1 or 2 of them already married before, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me clarify. So let me help you on something. Most black men, not white men, this is a huge percentage of black men. Most black men that have married first time don't really marry second time because they live with the trauma of their first marriage.
Woo, say it again, preach.
White men that marry first time, marry second time, but they don't usually marry third time.
And you know what my other problem is, Alex?
Yes.
I only like black men. I don't like anything outside.
If you go date white men, it's not going to help you either because white men just complain the same thing that black men complain about black women. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. So I see black women, and I got to tell you, black women give white men pass more than black men. That's another problem. What a black man would do, what a black man would do, what a white man would do and get away with it, a black woman will not let a black man get away with it.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's also a huge fact.
I'm too much of a black man advocate for it to ever happen.
It's good to advocate for a black man, but always understand this. While you're advocating for a black man, know that a black man first choice is a black woman. It's never a white woman. A black man first choice for marriage is a black woman.
What about that African boy that got killed by that white woman? He didn't like no black woman.
Nope. Okay, I will tell you something that will make you shocked right now.
He's talking majority again. He ain't talking.
Let me tell you something that will make you shocked right now. Yeah. Sheila, you see that boy? You see that boy that was killed?
Mm-hmm.
You might not know who is talking to you right now, but you're gonna figure who I am right now. That boy, his father, is an indirect cousin of mine.
Mm.
I can send you a picture of his burial. I was there.
Which one y'all talking about?
The young boy that got killed by that crazy ass white girl.
Right, by the girl, the girl.
What's the young man's name?
You talking about the chick got shot by the cop?
He's talking about Tobechukwu, the guy that was killed in Florida by the. Yeah, that boy. I saw that boy grew up from childhood to adult.
That's too bad.
That boy and I went to the same church. The day he was buried, I put my hand around his dad here in Dallas. They are family member.
Mm-hmm.
That boy, do you know that boy is a prince?
That's terrible.
And he was messing around with a white woman?
Yeah.
That boy.
But he made comments on social media that he did not like black women.
No. I'm going to tell you what he said. So that boy, right? That boy that you're looking at, before he was buried, his mom called upon the gods to go after that girl. I was right there when his mom made that call. In my community, when something happens and the woman and the mother or a father raises a sound, right, and swore by the name of our ancestors and our gods, you don't escape that. That is why she will never be free. Because I saw what her mom did there, and I was expecting her to do it because I knew the impact, I knew the power she's sending out. And as soon as she did it, I knew that was it. That spirit will come all the way from Nigeria and it will never rest, will never let her go until she pays the price. And guess what? The spirit that she called that moment when her son was being led under the grave, that spirit doesn't stop. He kills families and families beyond. That's how bad it is. So you guys are going to hear a whole lot about that girl's family. It's not going to look good for her family. But beside that, let me tell you this. I will tell you the encounter that these kids do have. Because when the guy was being buried, one of my aunties made a comment. She said that these kids in America now are complaining that our people are teaching our girls and boys how to deal with ourselves, but they're not teaching them how to deal with the Americans. You see, because it's different culture. Mm-hmm. So these girls are not being raised how to deal with American men and women, because our people are always trained to deal with our own people. That's a problem. So when you see that boy make comment like that, he makes it out of ignorance of the fact that when we come to America, what we see on Hollywood is that the black people in America are people that we have to emulate. These are our brothers, these are our sisters. We have to look up to them. We have to work with them because they're already here. They know the system. So we come here to be friends with them. We come here to be relatives with them. We come here to be family with the African Americans born here, right? Mm-hmm. But only to come into the system and find out that there is a lot of dysfunction in the families. There's a lot of problem. This is not something we're familiar with. And there is a lot of huge thing going on. That's why you see comments like that being said.
But it's said
because the expectation that we have is not what we're experiencing.
There's a lot of judgment from both sides, though.
There is a lot of judgment from both sides, but what I'm also trying to tell the Africans is this. You have to know the history and know where people are coming from before you say certain words that you can't take back.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? You got to be careful of that. You can't just go about saying things to African Americans, saying things to the black community when you don't know where people are coming from. When you have people that have been here for 400 and something years with wealth, family being destroyed,
man,
you gotta know that. But at the same time, I do tell African Americans, you can't use that as excuse the rest of your life from generation to generation.
But you know what they do?
I gotta go. I gotta get up in the morning.
In the United States, is they don't teach African Americans the true history.
That's true. That's true. But what we have, that's why we have channels like this to start making things right. People will come here and discuss histories and we'll push it out. So if you guys, whenever you get chance, please like on the video. But we are going to come to conclusion, okay? The next time we are going to discuss this is going to be Saturday or Sunday. So, Marcella, I'm going to let Eric know if it's going to be Saturday or Sunday. But as soon as he knows, he's going to contact you, okay? Then you guys, then I'm going to send you the link to come up, okay? We're going to love to have these discussions. And also, you can always tell your friends. Guys, tell your friends about this channel. Tell them to like it. Tell them to join. Some of them might not really join on the conversation because we can only take 8 people max for conversation. But they can actually be on live, watching it on YouTube or Facebook. And guess what? They can comment. They can leave comments. We can respond to their comments, okay? They don't have to be live. So let's push it. Thank you so much, guys. Let me go ahead and conclude this. And I might put you guys on mute, or you can stay if you want to, but I'm just going to take you guys off of the live feed. I'm just going to take you off of the live feed, but you can stay. You can stay if you want to. But let me just go ahead and conclude this program. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a very, very good night, and I really, really enjoy every single conversation that we're having tonight. This is marvelous. So this is the end. This is the final conclusion of Level 6 Adjusted. The next program is going to be Level 8. We're going to discuss on Level 8 what women are in those Level 8 categories, what it entails to be in those Level 8 categories, the beauty that comes with it, the qualifications that come with it. Is a very, very big show. It's going to be a very big show. It might encompass parts 2 and 3 again, just like Level 6. This is where we get to discuss the real matters. The real matters, the kind of women we come across, the kind of men. We are going to have huge discussions on this. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. And I will be looking forward to talking to you guys tomorrow, by weekend. Thank you so much. And you have a good night and have a very blessed and wonderful night, okay? Good night, guys.